Good. And you got it today, your slides and everything ready for you?
Listen, I practiced last night. I
There
said,
you go.
let me know if you can see this screen. He said, you got it. I said, all right, we can. So let's hope that that's the same thing for me. Y'all
the
let
same
me know
energy.
I can see my screen.
Okay.
All right. Let me know when you can see.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Okay, cool beans. All right. So we're gonna start. Let me get up there so we can see good. Well, everybody that's in here, wait, somebody maybe I already know who we are, but I'll just give a brief introduction of me. And then I'll let Sonny speak for herself because she is just amazing. So I'll get started. I am Zamika Pearson Lockett, go by Z. Holding this class today based on my personal journey, and basically there's a need for us to sit down and have these discussions because we see articles, we see memes, but how often do we sit down and have these roundtable discussions? Well, I want to go vegan, and they say this about vegan, and you hear a lot of things, but we just kind of here to provide some real life facts because of our personal journey, some things that we've experienced, and I feel that experience is the best teacher. So we are here today to share some mental soul food. I ain't gonna get into titles and all the different things that I do. Most of y'all already know those things, but I'm just a voice for the people, a person of the people, serving in any way that I can. Glad, so glad and honored to have Miss Sunny in the building. She is phenomenal. Like OMG, I don't even know where to start. I've learned so much from her in such a short period of time, and just what she does, it speaks volumes, and she is the change. So I will let you go ahead and introduce yourself, beautiful.
Okay. Awesome. Well, yes, I am Sunny, and I'm really excited about this class because this is like literally my passion. I grew up vegan. My mom decided in 1976 to make the change because of her family's health history, high blood pressure, diabetes, and different things. So she decided, you know what, I have these two girls because I have a younger sister, excuse me, and she decided, you know what, I'm going to do something different. So in the 70s, veganism, I don't even think that was the name of it. I don't even know what the name of it was, but I mean, it got deep. We actually were almost taken from my mom because of family complaints that we were being starved. And we actually had to go to court. This is insane, but we had to go to court. And it just so happened that the judge was a white man, and his wife had been researching veganism or plant-based foods, which it didn't have those names. And from that experience, my mother ended up teaching her how to change her diet over the course of a few months. And of course, the case was thrown out. So, I mean, it's wild. This journey has been amazing. It's a blessing to finally see other people catching up. I remember as a kid, my mother used to always say, you know, just be patient, people will catch up. It took 30 years, but I'm so happy to see more people that look like me in this space. So I'm excited to learn and just enjoy the class with you guys today.
I think that's beautiful. And the fact that you were vegan before this was a fad or a thing of popularity or trend, right? And that means that you were vegan before there were all these quick fixes, these easy meals, and even still, you know, it's still not that convenient. So it's really valuable to be able to receive info from you because you are like the foundation of what plant-based really means, like without all the quick fixes and the shortcuts. Because what I'm finding with these quick fixes and shortcuts is there are prices to pay with
it is
the vegan fast food per se, or the quick fixes. It's when you do your research, it's just as bad as, you know, some of the animal products.
And what makes it even wilder is the tofu thing. I know a lot of people are so against tofu, and I mean, it's all by choice, but growing up, we would meet up with the Monk family when I was little, and they showed us how to make tofu. So not only did we make our own tofu, you know, it's the drink off of the tofu, kind of like the soy milk. And they taught us how to make kombucha. So to see it now get such bad names, the tofu, granted, I know all the issues behind it, but when it's made with the positive energy, that love, and it was like a sisterhood together, similar to what us as Blacks have done, you know, with our grandparents shucking peas and things like that. It brought a whole nother energy. So to see now it gets such a bad name. I mean, I don't eat it because they don't make it anymore, except for if I can find somebody that makes it, I will get it. But I mean, it's just, that just shows you even the process from the 70s up until 2000s, how soy has been manufactured and put all these preservatives in that it's not even edible.
Right, because that is what and this is why I say it's so valuable getting this knowledge from you, because I didn't know that. The only history I've gotten of soy is from my personal experience, and from what I've read and what I'm seeing. I'm seeing not even real soybean being used.
Right.
GMO soybean, it's soybean isolate, soybean isolate. Like, I'm like, what does that mean? And I noticed that, especially in the beginning of my pregnancy, when I would consume soy-based products, because a lot of the vegan foods are soy.
Yes, they are.
And some of the ones that I was craving had soy, and I'm like, I'm just gonna eat a little bit. But I saw how it did my body. It gave me feelings like women describe menopause. It gave me high flashes. I would see like influx of hair grow on my chin. I'm like, what is going on here? I would see a lot of hormonal changes when I would ingest this soy. But that makes sense. It's the energy you put in the food. It's how the food is created.
I mean, and then you got to look at like Asians and Chinese and that group of people. They eat it literally daily. However, the thing they couple it with, it's always with something warm.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? That warmness in it washes it down. You can't sit up and eat a veggie burger with soybean in it and then have a soda or some cold water. You know what I mean? It's all a process. And most of their foods, I mean, they live a long time. They do. And they literally eat soy all the time. But you have to wonder, why are they not dying at high rates of cancer and things like that soy is associated with? Well, they're probably not going to Walmart and getting the burgers. You see what I'm saying? With it in there, they're literally making it. It's a complete process. So I mean, it all ties together. It really does.
And it really goes hand in hand with MSG too, because you know a lot of Asian foods is loaded with MSG, and it's
very much so.
You know, crazy things to our nervous system. Creating like comorbidities like heart disease,
hypertension. Because that ain't our stuff.
It's not our stuff, right? There you go.
It ain't our stuff.
Okay. So this brings us to this first slide.
Okay, right on.
About soul food, right? I remember I got this story embedded in my brain when you told me about your baby's bottle and your baby's grandmother in the
pot liquor.
That pot liquor. It's stuck in my head, and I just keep thinking soul food. So I know a lot of people. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. From Chicago, so food and culture is like one with us, right?
Yeah, it is.
But I know, speaking from where I come from, my people still like them chitlins. They still like. I remember my mama feeding us pig ears when we was growing up. It's like it got meat on it. What's going on? Like, this ain't right. In my mind, I'm thinking this, but I tell my mama that, right?
Right.
I'm thinking this ain't right. And as I got older, I started to notice, like, you know, people around me they never really felt well. They were, I know my sisters, we were growing up, we were always pale. I spoke about this, and our iron was low. And my mama she cooked a certain way. She cooked how she learned how to cook from her mother. And I'm sure that's the same thing that happened with her mother. But the thing was, nobody was feeling good. Nobody was feeling
right.
People. They want to let go of that soul food, that comfort food, because it was familiar. And a lot of this stuff has a lot of sodium, a lot of sugar. It was addictive. People have to realize how addictive these things are. So I get a lot of people that say now, oh, you think I'm finna stop eating this? I love that food, but that food don't love you back. So people was like, you know, my grandmama ate them hog maws and them chitlins, and she was just fine. But we got to think about what grandmama's activity was too.
Bam.
She was out there in the fields picking her into her garden. You know, had her thing going on. She was active. She wasn't sitting down, going to school from a computer, going to work from a computer, sitting having a sedentary lifestyle. So And not only that, like you spoke about, the food quality is completely different from what it was back then. So they
Right.
probably grew their own food. While these greens that they
Mm-hmm.
loaded with that fat back, they probably grew that hog out back,
Yep.
raised the hog,
Yep.
grew their own greens. So they knew,
Mm-hmm.
the soil that it was being grown in. They knew what this pig
Mm-hmm.
ate, and it wasn't being just
Right.
with all of this different stuff. So people
Mm-hmm.
are really quick to compare. My grandma and them ate this, and she lived to be 100, and
Mm-hmm.
this. That's fine, but grandma
Yeah.
wasn't living the same life that you living, not
Mm-hmm.
doing nothing, or not exercising, not doing what you're supposed to do. So people
Right.
tend to get stuck on that, and I think that people feel like this is just part of who I am, this part of my heritage. It is, but those people ate that food because that's what they had. That was the
Mm-hmm.
scraps that was left over. And our ancestors,
Right.
that's what they were given. And now since we
Mm-hmm.
can do better, we should do better. And
Mm-hmm.
educate ourselves that why our people are dying so fast. And I will speak about how the life expectancy rate in Memphis, Tennessee has dropped 20 years in the past
Woo.
10 years.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it's because of the poor water quality and food quality, but it's like you're falling on deaf ears because
Mm-hmm.
they put things in food to make them very addictive. And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's
That's intentional.
it is
Mm-hmm.
very intentional,
Mm-hmm.
very intentional. So, I know I read the article that you sent me on the history of soul food, and it really hit home because I'm like, this is
Mm-hmm.
what's up right here. Like people don't
Mm-hmm.
get, like, the lifestyle is different, the quality of
Yeah.
food is different. So we really can't eat the same because we, in essence, don't have the same lifestyle as our ancestors
Mm-hmm.
had. And that's a pro and a con. So
Yeah.
we have the option to be able to do better and eat better and provide more
Mm-hmm.
for our children, because I'm seeing so many children from my
Yeah.
hometown, because I don't know many people here. My God, they're like blowing up overnight.
Mm-hmm.
These little girls are
Mm-hmm.
developing breasts, and I'm sure it's from the hormone
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
fast.
It. Mm-hmm.
Acne,
Mm-hmm.
they have acne,
Mm-hmm.
and then some of these kids have like a mask. You can see where their skin is discolored, and I'm saying that's a food allergy. And,
Yeah.
and mama don't know what's going on. So I think
Mm-hmm.
it's worth looking into. When people think veganism, oh, I'm being restricted. No, you have to understand that this is
No.
it's
Right.
not being restricted at all. But I'm not gonna spend too much time with me on my soapbox because you're the expert here about this the different foods and all of that. But I wanted to just speak very quickly
Mm-hmm.
about the food quality in America. People don't understand like why it's important to read labels. People don't understand where
Mm-hmm.
we are as a nation when it comes to obesity.
Right.
So 60% of the people that live here in the United States, 60 over half are obese. Okay.
Yep.
Um, and Americans, in comparison to any other country, are more likely to have
Mm-hmm.
chronic illnesses like heart disease, cancer, autism, food allergies, diabetes. And we speak, our elders say, this wasn't around when I was younger. It wasn't, because the food is different. We
Mm-hmm.
don't understand really and truly what we eat is a big component of how we perform. It's our
Right.
fuel, right? I know that when I
Mm-hmm.
went vegan, I remember us bragging about eating big meals and saying we got the itis and we can just go to sleep.
Right.
That's
Mm-hmm.
not good. That's your body shutting
Right.
down, telling you, I can't digest this meal with you awake, so I got to put you to sleep so
Mm-hmm.
you can digest it. And
Mm-hmm.
now, being plant-based, I realize how my food gives me energy to go. And
Yeah.
I burn off that energy so fast, and it's time to eat again, and it boosts my metabolism.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what really like skyrocketed and catapulted my weight loss journey, because I was
Uh-huh.
frequently, and I was eating things that my body was able to easily digest and use for
Mm-hmm.
fuel. So my energy levels like catapulted. I remember
Yeah.
being clearer in my thinking at work, and just
Mm-hmm.
not being so cloudy and not being so groggy and tired. But I had to also realize from a spiritual aspect that when you're eating
Yeah.
certain foods, you absorb that energy. If I just ate a
Mm-hmm.
cow that was kept in a pen its whole life,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
forced to
Real.
be pregnant so they can get milk
Mm-hmm.
and get developing
Mm-hmm.
cancers and all kind of illnesses, and I'm gonna eat
Right. Right.
energy. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm feeling like that. That's why I'm depressed and don't know why.
Yeah.
And people don't realize
Yeah. That's
that
real.
energy transference in food is real too. So I can
Mm-hmm.
digest a vegetable way easier than I
Yeah.
can something that had a whole living soul. They had
Yeah.
emotions and all of that good stuff. So
Right. That's real.
and that ties into my next point. Like, that's why this country, in well, we go neck and neck with Ukraine, and we know how cutthroat they are
Right.
there.
Right.
We neck and neck with them with
Yeah.
mental illness, number one in the
Mm-hmm.
world, and we have to think
Mm-hmm.
about why is that? Why is that?
Yeah.
And you think about the U.S. approach to food quality and the European approach. The U.S. approach is better. Is pretty much innocent and proven guilty until proven guilty. We'll put these
Mm-hmm.
things in your food that we know can potentially cause cancer, but until somebody can prove this, then
Mm-hmm.
we won't continue to do it until you can show
Yep.
text and the hardcore evidence because it's making them money.
Right.
And they've even gone as far as they get real bold because they know people, a lot of people don't like to read. um
Mm-hmm.
they'll put the warnings on the food. This knows
Yeah, they
about
do.
cancer,
Mm-hmm.
and this is all they have to do. But people lack the knowledge to sit there and think for themselves and think, hey, let me read what's
Mm-hmm.
in here, and they'll still ingest their product. And they're like, hey, my nose is
Right.
clean, I gave you the warning. And people
Right.
don't realize.
True.
And the European standard, and this is why a lot of the foods that are, a lot of the additives that are in our foods is illegal in other countries.
Right.
They won't put it in foods, they won't put it in anything that humans ingest, and it's because
Mm-hmm.
they operate from a better safe than sorry. We rather keep our
Right.
people healthy rather than have to clean up a mess 10, 20 years from now from the stuff that we
Mm-hmm.
put in their food. And we really have to take that into account when it comes to trusting people in this country. If they gonna put this stuff in
Yep.
our food, what else are they spoon feeding us, right?
Right.
All right.
Right.
I'm gonna get off my soapbox here because
No, that's real though. That's real. Yeah.
so I know you spoke about when we were on together before people started coming on about kombucha.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I learned that gut health is like your immunity.
Mm-hmm.
That's your immunity.
Yeah.
Basically, you are what you eat. If, and there's a lot of things that you need in your gut that
Mm-hmm.
contributes to your immune system. So, what's your experience like with raw foods, or what would you say as far as like healthy options, vegan options for gut health and keeping your immunity up, especially in these times?
Right, right. And I don't want to, for those that are that follow Dr. Sabi, I have so much respect for him. One as an ancestor and an elder, and his knowledge is just vast. But a lot of people have issues because of his take on bitters,
Mm-hmm.
vinegars, and things like that.
Yeah.
Um, and he doesn't agree with it. He thinks it's bad for the gut, for health overall. And for that, I completely disagree. If you notice, even you said how you remember seeing like pig ears, although our ancestors still had the pig, do you realize they had it in pickling juice?
Ah.
Do you see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? They understood the gut health. Pickles, pig ears, pickled eggs, pig feet, all of that was always pickled. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Because it all benefits the gut health. All of it does. So those are things, of course, not the pig part, but I am a firm believer of like cha-cha. I love it. I have over a 200-year recipe that's been in my family. And we make it every year. We literally grow green tomatoes just for the purpose of making cha-cha.
Yeah.
But like cha-cha, pickled beets, those are some other of my favorites. Pickles, period. Those are really good. Anything that has the pickling effect,
Okay.
those are all really good gut health thing. And then you have lots of fruits and vegetables that are really good for gut health, because if you're eating those things, it helps push it all through. One
Okay.
of the other main things a lot of people kind of overlook, but if you notice, like you said, in like England and the European countries, they drink a lot of tea.
Yes.
They drink a lot of tea, and you can look at I used to love to go and dance. I love reggae music. I do. So I would be at this place that it also has a restaurant. It would be a white girl that would sit up and eat like a whole steak, a potato, everything, and her stomach would never be bloated. I mean, it sounds weird, but it's true. I would have a girlfriend that would get the same meal and she couldn't even get up and dance because her stomach was bloated.
Yeah.
If you see what I'm saying, our bodies literally, we really are not designed to eat like that.
Yeah.
So a lot of the times they eat that way, but they drink a lot of like teas and things. That warmness that goes through, even like I was saying with the Asian, all of that helps push through the food.
Yeah.
All of that helps push through, so that food is not sitting in the gut. Growing up, we were not even allowed to drink with our meal. It just didn't happen. But then after our meal, we would have a warm cup of tea. That was just how we were. And we also, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Yin Yang Water.
No.
Okay, well, Yin Yang Water is where you get warm water and cold water, the yin and the yang, and then you layer it. You put like hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold, and that rushes through. So it adds like this effect of like the yin yang effect. And so going into the body, literally, it's like a ritual. I don't even know if my mom knew what she was doing. My mother was just grabbing at the air with stuff, but now it's literally become a huge thing. People don't realize cold and hot showers, those are really good for health, period, as well, too. When you take a shower, you go in, you take it warm, and then you take it out with cold. That's helped us to stay sick free for years, because that's what we did. You don't take a bath and then go right outside. I know you've probably heard that growing up. Girl, you're going to catch a cold. Well, we ever heard that, because we would go and we would put that cold water so our body would get back on track.
Yeah.
So that's similar to the yin yang water. So those are things that I really believe are really good for gut health, as with kombucha too. Anything warm, anything that has like the bitter effect, vinegar type effect to it, I think those are very beneficial. And you could do that with pretty much everything. I pickle zucchini, squash, you could do all those things. But again, if you ever remember growing up, going to the little penny store, everybody has something pickling on the counter. All Black penny stores had some pickling on the counter. And that was why they had it. It made sense. I never knew that. My grandmother, great grandmother, in fact, she would do like shots of vinegar. Yeah. And we'd be like, what? She was like, that's for my bowels. Okay, well, you know what? The only reason you need them bowels working good, it got to go through that gut. Yeah. So she would do that. So now it all makes sense as I've gotten, older and done my own research. I'm like, wow, they were really doing it, but just didn't have a name to it.
You know what? That really makes sense. I'm sitting here thinking back, just reminiscing to my childhood right now, looking at the pickled eggs and the pickled.
Yep.
Yep. Like, why? And I just thought Black people like pickles.
No, that was them bitters.
It's the balancing effect. It's the balancing effect. Phoenix said, I remember that. She said, I remember that right next to the penny candy.
Yep, exactly. You couldn't pass them feet, the ears, the eggs, and pickles. It was all in them big old jars with the lid, with the little ball on the top. Pull it up, get their little glove, pull down in there. Sometimes they had a tongue, sometimes they didn't. Put in a little bag, and you be off on your way. So that's what I mean.
Eggs was the thing in my hood.
Yes, you see. Yeah. So I mean, exactly. So you think like, wow, once you really sit down and just kind of like reflect, you're like, man, our people literally were on it. We were doing the best we could, but didn't realize we were literally doing life-saving things and not even realizing it. Because of that, we was doing what we had to do.
Doing what we had to do. Oh my gosh. And it's amazing the knowledge that we possess and we take for that our ancestors passed down, that we just don't know the why.
We don't think.
We take it for granted. So this is valuable to be able to get that insight, because I never knew. I remember seeing pig and them pig ears.
Yeah. And they were in pickling juice. If you ask your grandparents how to do it, you will find out they use that white vinegar. And they did, if they wasn't making their own, because a lot of them had apple trees and stuff. So I grew up, making our own vinegar. I actually still make my own vinegar because we had apple trees and stuff. So vinegar is literally made out of apple water and sugar.
Wow.
If you make that kind, if you make the regular white kind, it's usually made out of potatoes, just like gin is. Yeah. So I mean, it's a distillery. Gin is a distillery. All that's made from potatoes.
You better come on, teach us.
So, I mean, that's why people are like, wow, you forever paying homage to the ancestors. I can't do anything but. Because if you know my posts, I always say it, because look, these are things passed down that I'm like, wow, a lot of us really didn't realize it. But if we sat literally at the knee of any grandparent, any older relative, and I'm telling you, you would be amazed at the stuff they were doing that now we just hit to, thinking we done started something. They was already on it.
A health craze. Now I'm talking them apple cider vinegar shots. Apple cider vinegar. What we've been taking?
Right. Yep. And Braggs, I'd be like, Braggs, he been there 100 and some years. I'm like 100 and some years. They wasn't doing nothing for themselves. I'm trying to find who really made the Braggs vinegar. That's how I move.
You better
know what I mean? Now, they 100 years ago, they wasn't doing nothing for themselves. I need to know who really came up with that recipe, because I need somebody to tell me, because the same way the Bragg's is made with the mother in it, the same way I make mine all these years ago in 2021.
Oh, that recipe was borrowed without permission.
Exactly. Stolen, not borrowed, stolen.
Stolen.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's a whole nother thing. We can go deep on that, but we ain't gonna go there. But all that to say, yes, the ancestors, those things are good for gut health. They were already doing them. We don't realize it just was something they was doing. It really was. And those things have been beneficial. And that's a lot of the reason why they had the long life, because they truly believed in the gut health. The thing with the kombucha, I'm gonna say this real quick. A lot of people don't realize it became trendy in 1972. Mm-hmm. But the kombucha originally was from the Asian and Chinese people. It was literally known as the immortal drink of the gods, because only the emperors were allowed to drink it. Mm-hmm. Reason being is because, here we go again, it dealt with the gut health. If your gut is okay, then you'll have long life. Gut health is so important. It actually is the base of everything else. If your gut is off, guess what? Everything's off. Right. But if your gut is on point, everything's on point. So I love to say that, because now kombucha is such a trend. Everybody's drinking kombucha, and you got all these labels that don't look like none of the original people that made it. And that's really how it became a trend. And usually it actually in 1918 was a cancer preventative. That was a method used to treat cancer. But the FDA wasn't allowed to be able to do it because everybody was making it. Like with cannabis, I'm not going to go there, but that's another healing herb. Me and you have had this discussion. Sure. And they couldn't regulate it. The FDA, when they can't put their hands on stuff to regulate, and everybody and their grandma brewing kombucha and healing everybody, then they call it as something that wasn't beneficial. And so that's why it was pushed to the side. And then a white hippie couple in 1970 something came back with it, and then it became a hippie white trend, and then everybody started drinking kombucha again.
Wow. Mm-hmm. It's amazing because it just blew up so much so that the same company that I do mm-hmm. sessions for, they are combining with these people, with this medical people, a kombucha company in Georgia, and they don't look like the originators,
They sure don't look like. And I learned, like I said, my mom, we were taught by the same Hmong family that we used to make the soy with, and my mother was like, "Oh, this is great. I mean, it tastes like a vinegary type drink." Yes. So, it can be used for, here we go again, the gut health. Right. So it just worked. So, but then when I got older and I was like, I would like to teach the classes, but I first asked them permission. They were still living at the time. I asked permission when I started teaching it 25 years ago, because again, this ain't my stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? If we were more respectful to other people's stuff, if they had told me, no, keep making it at home, I would have never taken it out. Sure. But they gave me the permission to move forward with it. And so I'm like, hell, I'm about to start helping my community. We all dealing with gut health. So if you want to eat a ham sandwich, then we're going to slide that kombucha down. At least you got a 50-50. That's all I got. Right. That's all I can say. Put some of these sunny pickles on the side of that sandwich, So that's how it works. But yeah, it's so much deeper. The whole thing of just food, and if we really understand the origins and where a lot of these foods come from, we'll find out a lot of it is not our stuff. That's why Black people are suffering, because this ain't our stuff. Yeah, and it's a lot of, and if you notice, like a lot of illnesses that are indigenous to Black people here, like sickle cell for one. And I learned in Divine's class that there's certain foods that we are native to eating. It's not really grown widely here, that we're lacking those nutrients that can produce genetic instabilities that cause sickle cell. Yeah, and check this out. As you just said, sickle cell, we literally on Wednesday had a client that she has the trait and the husband has the trait. So 9 times out of 10, the baby is going to have, some issues. But the crazy thing is, I did research years ago because I had a little cousin that had it. And sickle cell is only indigenous to Black people here. In warmer continents like Africa, when they get it, it's like a superpower. What? Yes, it's not as deadly. I mean, it's not one of those things that everybody's like freaking out. And here, because we don't have that complete warm climate all the time, when our bodies shut down during those 5 or 6 months in the winter, you hear a lot of people that have sickle cell, they really struggle in the warmer climates, and I mean in these colder climates, yes, it has a lot to do with us being here in America. That's why it affects us so much strongly than it would if we were in Africa. I mean, now you can't go to Florida, it ain't gonna heal you there, but I mean, I think connecting to where we are from, I think that plays a big part, because they were the couple that came after them, they are African, and they were like, oh yeah. And I said, I remember hearing that like in the 90s, but you know, you just read stuff, people be throwing stuff out on the internet, you don't know. But they said this, they literally confirmed it. So I'm like, wow, that, but again, like you said, it makes sense. This ain't our stuff, this ain't our land, this ain't, our bodies just don't react as well as if when you go back home for a spell. I mean, it's completely different.
So do you think Black people as a whole, you know, we all have different genetic makeups to us. So
Mm-hmm.
speaking about African Americans, do you think, because I know a lot of people will, and sometimes I take this as some people not wanting to be accountable, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, for what they're eating and a lack of
Yeah.
so do you
Yeah.
feel like, I've heard people say, I went vegan and I felt the worst that I have in my entire life. And
Mm-hmm.
I felt weak and I felt tired.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you feel like people should eat according to, like, I hear people say eat according to blood type, or
Mm-hmm.
you know, what works for you? Because I know for me, I eat consciously. Like I said, I eat,
Mm-hmm.
when I became pregnant, I introduced ghee into my diet, which is a
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
without dairy, simply because I know I was looking for those good fats. It was hard for me
Mm-hmm.
to keep, like, really stay firm and focused with a lot of the foods that I really needed to make sure that my blood pressure stayed good,
Right.
iron
Right.
level stayed up. So I introduced some, not even dairy, but animal
Right.
products based upon what I
Right.
needed at the time, things that I couldn't even tolerate if I wasn't pregnant. So do you think
Right.
people should eat consciously? Or, I mean, because I personally feel like the vegan diet, why I was able to stick with it for so long, is because when I
Mm-hmm.
tried to go back and revert back to the things that I called myself loving, hot wings,
Right.
pizza and stuff,
Yeah.
it made me sick, and I didn't like
Sick.
something like
Mm-hmm.
that. I really found out what wellness felt like when I
Mm-hmm.
was vegan. Like, I lost so much weight so fast, but it wasn't in a bad way. I felt like I was
Right.
energized. I felt clear
Mm-hmm.
mentally. Like, I made so many changes for the better, and it started with my diet. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
personally, a meat-free diet is is the go-to for me. Do
Yeah.
you feel like for some people
Right.
it's not the best fit for them?
Well, you know what? I would say this, because I think we talked about it before. Although my mom became vegan in the 70s, we ended up connecting with a community, you know, Hebrew Israelites. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that, but that's their diet. So I mean, I have family in Israel that eat like I do. So you know, it was a whole movement of people that were like this.
Right.
However, I like to be very clear with people, me and you have had the conversation, it all has to do with headspace.
Yeah.
I believe it has to do with being conscious, because again, I have as many people that are vegan die of cancer,
Wow.
have issues, and I have just as many people that ate ham hocks every day
That's
and died of cancer, and some are still living. You
right.
see what I'm saying? So it all has to do, if your mental is not on point, I believe that it has a huge impact on, I don't care if you eat every vegetable in the garden. If you are not mentally, spiritually, and in a space where you need to be, it doesn't really matter. Now, as far as eating for like your blood type, I've never been a fan with that. I've known many people that again are vegan that have lacked many of the nutrients. Well, number one, Whole Foods, I think they're trash. And I will say that I will never switch how I feel about them, because I think they were the biggest hustle that started. They latched onto a movement and became millionaires off of it.
Yes.
That's trash, because again, if people really understand the agricultural part, I've known people that have grown food from them, that there's regular gardeners and farmers that use 350 pesticides for their food.
And it's being
Yeah,
labeled organic.
no, that's theirs. But then Whole Foods farmers are using 295 pesticides, and that's labeled organic because they're under the label of how many pesticides that can be used in order for food to be considered organic or not.
Wow.
Okay, so this has just come up like in the 90s, but they came out in 1985. My mother never went there. And I'm thankful for that, because she was like, this is going to be something that's going to change the way people look at things, but they are crooks. I felt that, you know what I mean? So I got that. However, I will say you have to be mindful of even the stuff you believe that's organic. Do your research. Like you said, labels that say organic, you're going to pay $30, $40 for something, and you can go somewhere else and pay something else. My favorite place to go is Aldi's. I love Aldi's. I love their food, and I know where their food come from because I also went to boarding school and in Batavia, Illinois. So we were the ones that packaged the food for Aldi's.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. So I mean, I know how the connections were, you know, how they handle their people, how they handle their customers and their clients, things like that. And I believe that's how they've been able to blow up like they have. They are very conscious with how they deal with their people. That I think makes a huge part. So all that to say, if you're going to go organic or however you feel you want to go to Aldi's and do it. Don't spend all that money at Whole Foods. It's the same food. Literally, y'all now know Trader Joe's and Aldi's, they're together. It's the same food. You're going to pay $5 at Trader Joe's and $2 at Aldi's. Makes absolutely no sense. So if you're going to go that route, do that. But in all things, do your research. Make sure the purpose and reason for you switching up your diet has to do with you wanting to make the change, not because it's trendy. Because when you jump on these things as a trend, you're going to fail. You are literally going to fail. And I don't like to be negative to people. I mean, I have been kicked out of even a vegan group that I helped start. Okay. I was kicked out of the vegan group. The admins kicked me out of my own freaking vegan group. But that was when I knew, you know what? Because I was talking about the ghee and I was talking about the bone broth. Those are two things that I am a firm believer in, especially during pregnancy and after pregnancy, because they are so powerful in breast milk. Well, that's not a 45-year-old vegan talking like that. Yes, it is, because I understand the magnitude. Although our grandparents did things differently, a lot of that stuff we need to grab and hold on to because it was beneficial. And those were some of those things, no matter if you eat meat or you don't. Right. You know what I mean? So all that to say, I do believe it has a huge impact on how you handle yourself. As far as with the food, I think it can be beneficial. But then again, if you're not getting those proper nutrients, please, people that want to switch your vegan diet, do not believe you're going to get everything you need from food. That is the biggest lie today. Because the way the food is grown now, I don't care who grows it. I grow most of my own food, but guess what? I'm in an environment where they shooting crap from the sky and chemtrails and all that stuff. So you still not going to get 100. Supplement. Please supplement. Seriously, you're not getting everything from no veggie burgers or veggies that you grow. That's just not, or getting from the store. Please supplement. And that's been a lot of the issues with vegans. They have a lot of deficiencies because they're not supplementing what they're not getting from, like with the meat, because meat's fortified, eggs are fortified, milk is fortified, cheese are fortified. So when you remove those things from your diet, you're not getting that fortification that you were getting properly before. So you have to add in those. I take everything. I take vitamin D. We take vitamin C. We take sail salts. I mean, we take multivitamin. I mean, we do all of it. So that's the thing that I would like to say. So as far as the eating for your blood type, I ain't never heard of that. That was new to me when it came out about 15 years ago. I said, oh boy, here we go. You know, here we go with something new. But if it works for you, by all means, do what you do. But supplement still.
I think that a lot of people, in my experience, is, you know, I remember doing my vegan journey started off as a weight loss challenge, 21-day fast, Daniel's fast.
Okay.
And I was wanting to lose weight because I was big and I didn't feel good. I did not feel good in my clothes. I didn't feel good in my body, and I had chronic migraines.
Oh wow.
So I had a Christian friend at work that was like, let's get on this fast, girl. Let's lose weight. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for a new year, new me, right? 21 days, about day 10, I felt like I was ready to hurt somebody. Like I was having withdrawals from sugar.
Yeah, yeah.
meat withdrawals. And then like this veganism was more popular, especially when than it was back in the day. But I wasn't able to go and get all of the varieties that I could go and get from the store now. So I
Okay.
was in Memphis, Tennessee, so nobody was.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Like, what a veggie?
Right.
Like, girl, get out of here.
Yeah.
So I had to piece together some stuff. So it was mentally frustrating for me. And it was like physically taxing on my body because I had to rid myself of, what I had grown to know for so long.
Yeah.
And I was just, I pushed through it. I'm like, cause I ain't no quitter. I can do this. I can do this.
Yeah.
And, give me a challenge. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna air
Right.
it.
Right.
So after the 21 days, I was happy to go back to meat, and that didn't give me so much as an issue as that I could realize at the moment, because I thought using the restroom, having a bowel movement 1 or 2 times a week was normal for me. That's what I thought. But I didn't realize that was actually a whole problem.
Yeah.
The issue was the weight and the migraines. So I tried to go back to eating dairy. Oh my God. It was a disaster. And I realized that my body no longer accepted that. And then follow once my hypertension kicked in, and then it started happening with my gut, like it was chronic constipation, horribly.
Yeah.
I became more educated, so I knew I need to switch some more things up. But I'm realizing that people lack the self-discipline to kind of through the tough parts and to go back to something familiar, because familiar is comfortable. It's easy. And I think they use that as an excuse. That's why I had to put that in there about the blood type. A lot of people have pulled it up. Well, the chicken, if I put chicken in my diet, I'm just fine. I think it's just that you don't want to let the chicken go.
Right.
You got it made up in your mind.
Yeah, because you can literally find other foods that have literally more protein than chicken.
Yes.
Spinach, green, kales, and all those literally have more protein than a piece of steak. And you're not killing nothing.
And the B12 too. Like I always thought that I would suffer from B vitamins not having. And I'm like, do you realize how many, even the broths, like how much nutrients and stuff that are in the broths? I'm like, we are really giving meat too much weight and too much power. How much money that industry generates in this country.
Of course.
So it's pushed like that. As far as dairy too, I didn't realize the feminine hygiene issues that I had until I stopped consuming dairy. I thought it was to have those discharges. I thought it was normal. I had chronic sinus infections, like every
and
I was waiting, like I would already have my meds ready for springtime and I've been here my whole life. I'm still not used to these allergies. No, it was because I was allergic to the dairy, and my allergies was presented in a way that it wasn't familiar. Like it didn't come as the normal allergy.
Right.
And even with my son, like he came in this world dairy free because I was dairy free. And when my husband tried to sneak him some Cheeto puffs, it immediately showed up. The baby broke out in eczema and everything. And it really took my husband seeing that to show that she ain't just saying that. She ain't just on this health kick, right, lady. But this really is true, because he was telling me, I don't think he's lactose intolerant. I'm like, baby, we all are. You just it has manifested, in a way that you can call it to your attention. But now he sees it. Yeah, even with like he was doing dairy, like our house is pretty much gone dairy free. They refused to get on that kick with me. But once they started seeing like the negative effects, like my husband was like, I just cannot eat that sherbet anymore. I can't. I chose and it's really because it's taking a toll on his body, and he's realized he can't do what he used to do anymore. So and a lot of women, Black women especially, a lot of our issues, especially reproductive issues, are grounded in dairy. It produces mucus. So any input or just any insight about dairy, because I try, even with Western medicine, I try to get this through people's head. Like even when you got a cold, the doctor tell you to avoid milk and dairy products. You get over that cold, and they know that it's phlegm producing, this mucus. And you don't even know what that milk looks like before it comes to you in that container. It's not even that color. It's something that happened for you to get that milk, and it's not a whole lot of good things. So what insight do you have about like the dairy consumption and like overall health of people? Because I've seen it just wreak havoc in people's life, but Black people love cheese.
Right. and that and that's what a lot of people don't realize, because we actually make eczema cream, and I made it originally because my youngest son, he's 26 now, but I had never even heard of eczema. Never heard. And again, I like to tell people, women, we get a lot of a bad rap in a lot of ways. Fertility, it's not just on you. What that brother gives, it also produces the kid, and it plays a huge part. So when the baby comes, he got eczema. I'm like, the hell is this? I never in my life had heard of it. Well, the grandmother, my ex-husband's mother, was like, oh, we all got it. I said, what? Hold on. So the baby, he had it. So again, when you're with someone who he was nowhere near on this, because this is the same family that wanted me to get a other one, the pot liquor. Yeah, okay. So you already know how we working here. Okay, you got me, and then you got him. So the diet was always like, he would give, or like you said, you give a little bit, but not too much. But it was enough to where these things kept presenting themselves. So I'm like, this makes a lot of sense. So I'm like, let's not do that no more. And immediately we had no more issues.
Wow.
Do you see what I'm saying? So I believe a lot, like you said, of our health issues. I believe, and people like think I'm crazy when I talk about why skin can't get moisturized. If that makes sense to a lot of people, you blocking it with the mucus in the body. It presents itself in so many ways. It hinders healthy gut health, because that mucus and stuff is sitting down in there. When you hear anybody talk about the nose, throat, all of that's connected.
Yeah.
Ears, nose, and throat. You go get a specialist. Guess what? You're going to an ears, nose, and throat specialist for your allergies, for asthma, any of those things, because that's all connected. Like you said, the first thing a doctor tell you, you know what? You like ice cream? Yeah, I love ice cream. Okay, well, while you going through this, don't eat that for right now. Let's give you a couple days off of that just so we can get this in you. Because they know you can't take something to help prevent mucus if you're sucking down mucus-induced foods. It's just not going to happen. So yes, I am a firm believer. I don't have no alternatives. Now, my sister, she vegan, and she was like, look, my nickname is Buki. She said, let me tell you something. I done got addicted to this ice cream. It's vegan, but if you have addictive personalities with foods and sweets, it don't matter if it don't got a bit of dairy in there, you still gonna suck a carton down. And this is how she was like, I literally had to stay away from this ice cream because this is where it is. So I can honestly say that even with the alternatives, I'm very mindful, because I don't want somebody to say, well, you know what, I can now eat this because it's vegan. No, ma'am. You still have to be very mindful of that, because I know, I mean, it's hilarious, but I have family and people be like, y'all all vegan? Hell, y'all some of the thickest vegans I have ever saw. I mean, people say that. Again, if you eating all the components of veganism and everything, you're not going to be thin. Now, when you first leave meat and all that, and then you jump into veganism, you will slim down tremendously. But once your body get adjusted to things, it'll kick back in. So my struggle is, I love bread. Can't nobody tell me nothing. I make bread. I make all breads. You know what I mean? So I can sit up, make a loaf of bread, and sit there and be like, you know what? Bam. So you see what I'm saying? If doesn't matter if you take it holistic or from the streets. If you don't do it in moderation, period, it can still cause issues, if that makes sense. So
I'm so glad you said that, because I have a lot of alternatives. Like, I now have developed, I wasn't a big sweet fan prior to this.
I saw them sweets. I was chuckling when I see them.
Listen, I should be part owner of Sprouts, because they have them on sale. That's why I go and get them. But
okay.
I have to get a disclaimer, because my son think he can go down there and just go ham. Oh, it's vegan.
Yep.
Baby, it's still sugar. It's still sugar. You got to understand that even these things have to be taken in moderation.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've been really, my journey has been trying to find, because I'm food craving something else, I'm telling you. I've been trying to find healthier alternatives to sugar. So I'm loading up on natural sugars like fruit. Loading fruits and things like that. And then I got me some of that blackstrap molasses that's coming through the day.
Hey, baby, I love that black. I put it in everything. Yeah, I love blackstrap molasses.
I don't know. I've been seeing the recipes, and for some reason, it's just like calling out to my taste buds. And I'm thinking, I remember what molasses tastes like when I was younger. I hadn't had it in forever. I'm like, put some fruit in a smoothie, that's gonna be busting. So I'm excited to try my new my newfound recipe, and we're gonna get that recipe in here, y'all. I had to post it. I'm excited. And Sunny has a cookbook, and I'll if you we just give the information at the end of the session so that people
Oh, okay.
have
I
access
will.
to
Yeah.
it, if you would like, so they can check it
Mm-hmm.
out. Because I will tell you, I was having the issue with trying to find, because being vegan, like I said, for me, being pregnant, I would digest the meals just like that. So I'm literally eating every
Mm-hmm.
2 hours,
Yeah.
hungry again. But it's giving me fuel, and I know, and I feel like when
Mm-hmm.
my fuel running low, I need more. So
Right.
and working and teaching and all of that, it's a lot to continue to make those fresh meals. So
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking, what can I make in a crock pot or stew or something that I can
Yeah.
back to reheat, put up for another day, and also some good postpartum meals, because I'm gonna be off of my feet, and I do most of the
Yeah.
for myself now. So I want to still have access to those nutritious meals. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know how you read my brain, but you started sending me those recipes, and I'm like, this is exactly what I need.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome.
Me and my son got in the kitchen one Sunday, and let me tell you, some
Yeah, that was so cute.
oh my, we
Mm-hmm.
tore it up, honey. We tore it up. That we call ourselves meal prepping for the week. It didn't make it past Wednesday, but we was full. We were full, y'all.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And those are some of my favorite recipes. I tell people all the time, my cookbook, it's not just geared towards one thing. It's, postpartum recipes. Each one of those smoothies I shared this week can be ice cream. We eat them in popsicles. You see what I'm saying? So you were saying like, man, I would love to have, like the ice cream, put it in a metal container. If you have an ice cream maker, you could put it in there and literally you got ice cream, popsicles. We love to put it in like the little, he likes those emoji popsicles. So
Yeah.
we just got the molds and we stick them in there. And then you got the same benefit that you have, a sweet treat, but it's cold. You
Oh, so you done got me
in
on.
the
I got
brain.
some popsicle modes now. I'm on it. I'm just thinking,
Yeah.
my little gears just going.
Yep.
And
So
I think that's
all of the
a way for
smoothies. Yeah.
nutrients to enjoy that too, to have those nutrients. Because
Yep.
I'm a picky eater, so yeah, okay,
Yeah, all of them can be made into smoothies. Like I said, and they are really good. I use a lot of them for my moms in labor.
yeah,
I make popsicles out of them. So they got the ice, some of them want ice and some of them don't. Like the young lady that did it, we made smoothies. I take stuff in and blackstrap molasses. She was like, "It's so good, Miss Sunny." And she was like, "What you put in here?" And it was literally nothing but frozen fruit and blackstrap molasses. She was eating it like a steak. She was so happy. One, because she didn't know she could even eat in labor. You
yeah.
know what I mean? So that kind of brings a whole nother component, but it gave her the strength that she needed because she had something on her stomach. It wasn't too heavy, but it was fuel. It was fuel for what she needed to do to put that work in to get baby on this side. So a lot of those smoothies that I make, that I shared with us on the weekend, I was putting in your group, all of those can be made into popsicles and are amazing for mom doing postpartum too. I didn't like to chew
Yeah,
after I had my kids. I did not chew anything. All I did was smoothies. I mean, people think chewing is work.
it is. It is.
Chewing is
It
work.
is.
So for real. So that's how
Especially
I did my
postpartum.
belly. Yeah, it can. So we did the belly binding, and that's all I had was smoothies. I always had like those cup ones where you could do it yourself. I could have the baby wrapped on me because I always did the bathing, have them wrapped on, and literally have the fruits already pre-put in the baggies. That's another way of meal prepping. Already pre-put, and all you do is put them in the blender, take that, and then the cup travels with you.
You know what? That's dope. That's really
Mm-hmm.
helpful, because that's one of my biggest things is staying energized.
Yep.
One, having to, I know that breastfeeding journey is not nice if you get low on your
No,
the low.
nothing nice. Yeah.
Oh, it's harsh if
Yeah.
you get low. So
Yeah.
I was really focusing on what can I do now to help
Mm-hmm.
prepare me for that time. And like just those few recipes that you shared with me have become
Mm-hmm.
now staples and things that I'm going to prepare my daughter when she gets here, so we can freeze,
Yeah.
have them on standby.
Yep.
So I'm not pulling on, too much on nobody else's energy, and it's easier for them because we will have a whole
Yep.
being in here. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
great info. Like seriously,
Yeah.
I
Yeah. So
appreciate
that's what I wanted to share those because I mean, moms can use them. They all, and you can even add coconut. I didn't put that in there, but I add coconut to all mine or ghee in all of those smoothies as well because you get that fat too.
You know what? I didn't think of. I have ghee, but I for some
Mm-hmm.
people calling out to coconut, and I didn't get any. But you know what? I'm gonna invest in some coconut because I was
Yep.
thinking, I definitely wanted to try the blueberry one.
Yeah, that's my favorite. And that one actually is a part of my chakra series because I do a chakra, but I be just doing stuff. I be looking at myself sometimes like, girl, what is you doing? But it is what it is. But that was my third one. So that one there, and avocados, I think people's like, look, lady, I'm allergic. What can I use? Because in most of those smoothies, it had avocados in all of them. Because to me, it just give it like a meal. If that makes sense. Because you literally, if you're meal replacing, or again, like you said, if you're breastfeeding and you don't want to chew, like I didn't throw an avocado on that black strap, you literally have a whole meal. It's literally a meal.
And I think that what I like about the avocado, and I experienced that with the dressing that I made for the is it provides a creaminess too that a lot of
it does. Yeah,
are missing. Like it provides that creamy texture that you miss. You don't, without the dairy. So I love. I saw avocado ice cream in the store. I'm like, these folks tripping. But now I realize that
no, ma'am.
I'm tripping.
It's delicious. Try it. I mean, I even just make plain avocado with cocoa powder.
Yeah.
The milk-free cocoa powder. You can get it at any of these. I order a lot of things on Amazon because I'm not going nowhere. I already told you I don't want to see people. I don't want to talk to nobody. So I do a lot of stuff on Amazon. You know what I mean? And they have a huge array of vegan items that you can just literally get ordered to your house if you have Prime and come in like a day. So I use a lot of that. But yes, you can get in black strap molasses. Here I go. Avocado, black strap molasses, and the cocoa blended up. I have a metal container. You put it in there, freeze it overnight, and it scoop out just like ice cream.
You kidding me?
Amazing.
Okay. See, now I got to get in the lab.
Yeah. And I'll share that recipe. I'll put that in your group because I actually have it in a container and people couldn't believe it. They was like, that's avocados. I'm like, but it scoop up just like ice cream. And unless I tell you, or you got one of them weird taste buds where you can like pick out each ingredient, because I have a cousin that that guy she superpower. She could pick out. So if you don't have that type of superpower and can get past it being guacamole, she was like, I'm not eating guacamole ice cream. If you can get past the mentality of thinking you eat guacamole ice cream, you can even make, you like pies, a lot of people love cheesecake, you can even make cheesecakes like that. I've made them. Yes, ma'am.
You got a cheesecake recipe, Sunday, please.
I have a cheese. Yeah, I do.
Come through for your girl. Okay. My prayers have been answered. Because Daya is not what's up. Okay. That tastes like yogurt and graham crackers.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Right.
And I have not found a solid replacement for cheesecake. And
I'll send you a recipe. Yeah.
Please do. And Phoenix said, thank you so much. We are so appreciative because this is new stuff
no
for us.
problem.
We used to just going into, like you said, Crooked Whole Foods.
Crooked Whole Foods.
They were just too expensive for me. I just didn't get down because you get 5 items, you just spent the check. So I'm not even down with them. We have a natural grocery store here, which is just a local. Farm. It's like a farm stand, but it's like in a brick and mortar, and they have a lot of really good local products that are very cheap. I gravitated to, and Sprouts for things that I get down there. And I'm not even.
I tell people, please support your local farmer. I am that local farmer. If you know anybody that's growing, if it ain't nothing but tomatoes, just get they tomatoes because it really makes a difference. Or grow your own. I had a group where everybody grew one thing. You got a whole salad. You grow tomatoes, I grow cucumbers, you got a whole salad. Y'all just keep rotating. Next year, add something else. Everybody grow 3 things. You almost got a whole grocery list.
Man, come on, we need that.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? It's simple. It literally can be done.
We think about growing our own food, and for me, I was like, how, Sway? Like, it seemed like this pass. I'm like, I can't even keep this cactus alive over here. But when you speak about it in this manner, like I know this lady next door, we're in Colorado, I'm talking bone chilling cold, she grows strawberries. And I see what's your excuse? So like being in you know, thing what you do, and you a Messiah, I'm like, okay, I'm motivated here. And it don't take much. Like I'm thinking I got to get this fancy soil, these fancy plants.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Simple. And it's really affordable. And you really changed my outlook on that because I didn't know where to start. And just to see babies in the soil growing these beautiful vegetables. I think about Messiah in that picture with that big cucumber. I showed it to my I'm like, look, baby. Like, what?
Yeah. And that was a zucchini.
Oh, that was a zucchini. Oh,
that was a
zucchini.
Yeah.
I thought it was a cucumber. It was so
that was a zucchini. It wasn't that huge. Yeah, that was a zucchini. Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, he was so proud of that thing because it just kept growing. I'm like, you want to take it off? And he was like, let's let it stay a little longer. And that sucker, it was up under the bottom of everything else. Because see, we do a lot of pot growing. I do that because a lot of people, like you just said, oh, I can't do it. And I'm like, I have land, but I do it that way so people have no excuses. You don't need a huge amount of land. You don't need all of this. No. We literally got about 50 pots. Now most of them are in my herbs because we grow over 30, 40 herbs that we use. Catnip. Well, I've sent you several. So all of those for the medicinal purposes. And now we use the land for the growing and stuff so people can see. But yeah, we have neighbors that come down. We share green tomatoes. We have a lot of elders around here. So we'll take a few cucumbers. They love to see Messiah doing it. So you and your babies, it's nothing to it literally but to do it. Start off strong. A lot of people go in and buy all this money trying to get a whole, you're not an agricultural farmer yet. Start out small. Strawberries. You can't kill strawberries unless you just kill strawberries.
I needed to hear that.
Yes. Get some basil. Do you some green tomatoes, rosemary, anything that you can use to add. I say grow stuff that you can use to add a salad. Sure. Even if you don't grow the salad, you will feel such pride knowing them green tomatoes that I did. That green onion, that I did. That little rosemary, I did that.
Yeah.
Put so much hair on your chest, make you feel like I can conquer the world. The next year, just add a couple more things, and that's how you get started.
And I bet that would boost my confidence so much. And this is what I'm planning this spring, is to grow something that I can eat, that my family can eat. And I know here we can find green tomatoes anywhere. So I'm like, I can grow some green tomatoes.
Yep. So they growing them. Yeah, they growing them there. Yeah.
Yes.
So it can be done. Yeah.
I'm excited. You
know,
it boosted me up now. I'm gonna go.
You got this. And then follow our page. You follow the page, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And it's not just me. We got tons of literal people that African Americans, because it is just us. I made that space just for us. So if people want to share stuff that's just us, I like to keep it that way. But you got farmers. I have one guy that's a farmer. I think he like 80 something years old. And I don't personally know him, but I mean, every time he posts, I just be like, just getting it all in because so all those posts that be in there, these guys are doing it. We got another one. He's like 70 something, but he does a lot with fish as his compost. I don't know if you ever seen him in there, but he fishes. So sometimes I was like, look, Bob, because I called him, I said, I can't be putting all these dead, you killing catfish and stuff, because that's not what so I'm not going to put that in the group, because I try to keep it a little more humane. Not that I'm saying you do, because he do a whole ritual with it. It's beautiful, but I'm just like, I'm keeping it more towards the vegetables. But your fish, after you done killed everybody and everybody done ate what they ate and you use it for the compost, then I do like to share that, because a lot of things people as vegans don't realize too. I love to tell people that when they get too high and mighty up on their horse as a vegan, you eat any type of vegetables, guess what, ma'am? You eating some type of animal byproduct, regardless of what you think, because a lot of the fertilizer, it's poo-poo from cows, it's poo-poo from chickens. And what do cows and chickens eat?
Vegetables.
Bam. Crap. So please, that's why I got blocked out of my own group talking like this. I'm like, these high and mighty, the lifestyle I think is beautiful, but that doesn't make you above anybody else.
Right. I
know what I mean?
Vegans get the elitist attitude. Oh,
no, ma'am. Let's come down. Yeah.
And
because you still eating it.
You spoke about Whole Foods. We talking about this organic stuff that we paying $umpteen for, and we just taking their word for it.
Yep, literally.
So we don't.
They 30 pesticides away from it not being organic.
Exactly.
And they sell seedless food. How is
that puzzles me, because they brought me some candy grapes the other day, and they were seedless, and I'm like, "What? I was making me." It ain't
how
though.
where are you? How? So So yes.
So this is really good insight. Sharonda coming through. Hey, Sharonda. We got this recorded for the first half because baby Sonny been dropping some heat. You hear me? I'm talking about.
Oh, thank you.
I'm finna leave this joint and be a whole farmer, okay?
You come on through with it. Come on. We all can do something. I'm telling you, we can all do something.
I'm so excited about this. And I'm excited about this avocado cheesecake too, honey.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm telling you, I will post it in the group with the ice cream side by side so you can see it, and I'll send the recipe, and you're gonna be like, wow. Like I said, if you can get past the mental part of guacamole cheesecake and guacamole ice cream, because kids are retarded, but let them have it. You know what I mean? So they can't get past. You just make guacamole, and now we eat it in a cheesecake. I mean, it could be weird, but.
And you know what, I'm laughing because when you said your sister said guacamole ice cream, I'm sitting here thinking tomatoes, lime juice, salt. No, you gotta change that, Z. And
you gotta change your thinking. Exactly. Being vegan, you know what I mean? It literally is. That's why I tell people it's mind over matter. It literally is. If you gotta do that. So when you were saying that you did that whole switch up for 21, literally it takes 21 days to form a new habit.
Yep.
So if you can just say, you know what, I'm not going to think like this, because it is a catch-22. You can roll up and eat a piece of cauliflower, and then the next day you eat it in rice in a burrito. Or you eating it as pizza crust or fried chicken wings. You know?
I had a chickpea brownie, Sonny. A chickpea brownie. That's all I could find. And I wanted a brownie so bad. And I said, I'm not going to eat this hydrogenated corn oil or whatever they put in that brownie. I'm not doing it. I'm going to try the chickpea brownie. Not only was it good, it was filling. It was very good. And I think,
and if you know chickpeas, they are extremely filling. Those are another things that I replace with avocados, because they also give that real creamy feel. So if you're ever looking for something to give it, I like to call it that butter, that butter feel. Chickpeas are one of the main ingredients that I use to give that whip feel in avocados. They just got the whippiness to them.
You know what? I'm learning to be more expansive with foods, because I realize that it's mental. So many.
It is.
I know that another big thing for people crossing over is like protein. What's a good protein replacement when you go vegan? And the thing about it is, I never knew any better options. Most of your good proteins are vegan.
No, really.
The beans and the lentils and things like that, and
the legumes, all of that.
Absolutely. So what's your take on? I know there's a lot of really expensive vegan. For me, I just can't get jiggy with the powder. Something about the powder,
right?
With the smoothies, I'm just something about it's a texture for me. So what are your takes on the protein? I'm telling you, I'm still getting through a lot of these mental things. But what is your take on like the protein supplements, like taking
here we go, and here I'm about to go right back to that gardening and farming. I grow all vegetables that have huge amounts of protein. Just like you said, a lot of people don't realize being vegan or vegetarian, whichever space you in, you probably are a higher risk of getting more proteins than if you ate meat.
Okay.
That's just reality. Again, you wonder why our ancestors and grandparents always, even though they had the soul food, you always saw beans on the plate and you always saw greens on the plate. Those were other ways of getting the protein. Sometimes they didn't have the meat, but they always had beans and greens. It just was something that was done on the soul food plate. It just was. So going back to how I get our main source of protein, I grow several leafy greens, and then I dry them out.
Okay.
And then I grind them up, and that's my protein shake.
Okay.
That's what I use as my protein powder. I'm not going nowhere else buying any of those things. Beets, all of that can be dehydrated and dried and ground. So that's where I get a lot of our protein. We eat beans. We love beans. We probably eat beans. My son, he loves burritos. Sometimes, growing up, you can get a little tired of beans. For me, because we ate them so much. You say what?
Somebody needs to go. Oh, never mind. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Beans, they just have, but you got to learn how to kind of switch it up. So he loves burritos. He likes, quesadillas and things like that. So we make a lot of that because that's what he likes. So we'll make that to get that protein. Because again, his dad eats like fish and chicken and things like that, but he doesn't. He's been real respectful of, making sure that he's not eating those types of things. So that's how we get our proteins. But again, like I said, every morning, him and I, whether it's like this here, I don't know if you can see the green in there at the bottom. It's probably not really showing up that well. Okay, well, this is the protein powder that I make. So we drink it in water.
So
we drink it in water.
You drying these veggies out and you're making your own protein powder from the dry. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So you don't have preservatives. You know exactly what you're doing, and it's literally nothing. Most people nowadays have some form of dehydrator. If
Right.
you a vegan, you got some form of a dehydrator. Period. I mean, it's just you do.
I
So
got a good one
literally,
off Amazon for $30.
see, there you go. So even if you don't grow your own vegetables, go and get some leafy greens, dry them out, grind them up. You literally need like a tablespoon. It don't take a lot to do that. And so that's what each year, that's what we do. And we keep it in the freezer so that it, stays preserved. Keep it in the freezer. It's not going to freeze or anything. It stay the powder, and we put it in everything. I put it in everything for us. We drink it in water. We drink it in smoothies. I put it in muffins. A lot of people don't realize that a lot of our teas has tons of nutrients in it. When you drink a cup of tea, if you're drinking loose tea that you know where it comes from, don't throw it out. You can either recompost it or you can put it in smoothies. I like to put it in muffins, smoothies, or pancakes, that you still getting that even after the because it still got some amount of nutrients in there. So we use it for that.
So this really makes sense because Phoenix said she really need help with that because she's lost muscle. So this makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
People go to being vegan, they feel like, oh, I've gone vegan, I'm complete,
Mm-hmm.
good now. But you're still
Mm-mm.
taking those supplements because what's in food?
Yep. Yeah, you need the supplements, please. I tell people all the time, a lot of people have went through that. Well, I've lost, mass and everything. Well, that's because something is you taking away. You're not eating the meat, but the meat, all of that's fortified. Get on top of those beans, and if you can, find a supplement that's got tons of protein in it, and take that. And I guarantee, couple with eating properly, eating foods that are rich in protein, and taking the supplement, it'll make a big difference.
Perfect. Okay.
Again, supplements are important. I tell people, please don't think once you turn vegan that that's where it's at, because you do lose a lot of what you were able to put into the diet because of the stuff being already fortified for you. You didn't have that issue. You
Right.
know what I mean? It was okay. You may have other issues, but it wasn't because lack of vitamin D or that lack of the iron and different things like that, because you were eating meats that they literally put that into the milks. They put that into, when you go to see, it always says fortified.
Yep. And we
Orange
take that for
juice is
granted.
fortified now.
Half of us
Mm-hmm.
know what that means. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what they're fortifying. When they say fortified, they've put all the nutrients and stuff that you need in it. They're doing it themselves.
That makes
So you have to find something to replace what you're now not getting. So protein is huge. It's huge. It's huge. You need to be able to have that. A lot of people can't handle all the beans, but there's tons of leafy greens that bring you just as much protein as just eating the beans too.
that makes sense
And
because
fortified.
that's
Get
what
get
helps with
supplements.
my blood pressure. My
Mm-hmm.
midwife was telling me that an increase in protein would help me
Mm-hmm.
maintain,
Yep.
my blood pressure being at a good
Mm-hmm.
level. But I contributed a lot of it to letting go of meat, which it did because
Yeah.
a lot of that contains a lot of sodium and things that just wasn't
Mm-hmm.
working for me. Um,
Yep.
but when I realized that, I was able to stay up on my protein with most of these veggies, with the green leafy veggies,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that you're able to introduce how it's easy. Like I saw somebody in Divine's group had some collard green powder, and I was thinking to myself,
Yeah.
what can I do with that collard green powder? What can I do
Yep.
with it?
Everything.
And that's crazy because it just
Yeah.
takes a minute amount to do what it
Mm-hmm.
needs to do. So easy. And here we are spending an arm and leg. I saw some vegan powder, y'all, at a
Ooh.
store, and it was like
Mm-hmm.
$100, and it was a
I
little
know.
container. And I'm like,
I was gonna say, was
"What
about
is
that big. Yeah.
this?" Yeah, it's a what
Uh-huh.
is this?
Uh-uh.
I'm like,
Mm-mm.
no, that's not gonna get. And the fact that you
Yep.
make yours so inexpensive, you can get a bunch of kale for $1.50, and you can go.
Yes, ma'am.
That's
Uh-huh.
crazy. Okay, so now you didn't flip it upside down for me. So I
Dry it
said,
out and do it. I'm telling you. And everybody can enjoy it. You could put it in stews. You could put it in. I mean, we put it in everything. The older boys, they're 26 and 24. They don't, I mean, they on their own now, do their own thing. So they don't always, but they eat. I'm going to put it in there. You know what I mean? I'm still
yeah,
going, you know what I mean? But they had the foundation. So they do, pretty decent still. But, when you hit them years, you doing what you want to do. So I'm still a firm believer, still supplement y'all, still take herbs, still do what y'all need to do, because you need that. You do.
that extra. And Sharonda just said
Mm-hmm.
that. How do you dry it out? A dehydrator. I have experience
Yep.
with dehydrator doing encapsulation, but I see
Okay.
people drying out herbs all the time, and it works the same. I mean, come on now. If it can dry out
Yep.
whole placenta, my
Whole
so
placenta.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna give me
for
one of this
real.
for my veggies because
Yep.
I really want to make me a protein powder for my
Yep.
smoothies that I'm gonna have my blackstrap molasses and all of this good
Yeah,
stuff.
hey, hey,
So
hey. Yep. And I mean, it's easy. And if you don't have money, because like me, I like to do everything the indigenous way so that people we don't have no excuse.
right.
So I don't have a dehydrator. I personally don't. I literally dry everything out
What?
myself. Not even with the oven. Okay, I don't know if y'all gonna be able to see this. Excuse how everything is, but can y'all see this over here?
Yes.
This is herbs that I just have lined up. They've been dry for a while. So I need to get them smashed up. But this is just me how I dry
So you just
herbs.
sit them out. You sit them out,
I
and
just mm-hmm.
how
Yep.
long does it typically take to dry out? Like
It takes a minute. That's the only thing. If you got patience, because I grow a lot of my herbs in the house.
Mhm.
Like I don't know if y'all can see this over here. I'm growing ginger. Can y'all see that big one with the lamp on it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's ginger. So I grow a lot.
Uh-oh, she
I
went out.
go out.
We can
Uh-oh.
still hear you, but we can't see your picture. We can't see your video.
Oh, here I go. Here I go. I don't know nothing about this. Okay, I'm trying to get me back in here. Hold on.
I don't know either. We gotta put our heads together.
Right. Hold on. I done touched something. How did I? Oh,
And
okay.
y'all
I'm
check
gonna
it.
probably have to
Yeah.
get out and then call you back and get back in.
Oh,
But
what?
I'll just finish this little part before we go. But
Okay.
yeah, so I grow a lot of them in the house so that I just kind of dry them out like that. So it can take up to 3 or 4 months. It depends. But again, if you like to do it with the hydrator, of course, that only take like 20 or 30 minutes to do.
Yeah.
And you can get it immediately. But because I make so much and grow most of this stuff all year round,
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about that. And then my harvest that I don't do, I dry it
Okay.
in the not dry it, I put it in the freezer. So then when it's time to take it out, a lot of times I'll just grind it up and use it like that. So it's already kind of brittle. If you put any type of lettuce in the freezer, it's gonna be kind of crunchy. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So then I'll just kind of lay it out and let it kind of dry some. But because I keep it in the freezer, I don't have to worry about it. I just got to kind of, get a fork like you would with anything, kind of push down in there and then use it like that.
That's dope. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
learning. And
So I'm going to leave and then I'm going to come back in because I
okay.
don't know what happened to the camera. I'm not fancy with this stuff. I have no idea and I ain't got nobody here to help me. My 8-year-old is the one that usually keep me on track. Like, Mom, this is how you do it. But I have no clue what I'm doing. So I'm just going to call back. Okay.
Okay, and I'm gonna wait for this misconception about vegan diets because I want to hear from a lifelong vegan, like to make sure we
Okay.
feel real. So I'll wait until you call back in. If anybody got
Okay.
any questions until Sunny leave out and come back in, I'm here to answer to the best of my availability. But Sunny is the expert here. She is a 42-year vegan. She's been vegan since birth, pretty much. And she grows her own food, as you can hear, and she dries her own food. And the reason why I feel like her perspective on veganism is so valuable is because she was vegan before we had all of these different easy to get products like these vegan cheeses, these almond milks and things like that we can go in there and just go in the store and get. Like she was having to make these things from scratch. And she talked about tofu. Now I always caution people about anything that contains soy, but she spoke about how the Asian community would make tofu and they made it from hand from soybeans that they grew and it didn't have the same consistency or the negative effects on their female reproductive system. So I was just catching them
Okay. There we go.
on and tell them about you, Sonny. So we're gonna hop into
Mhm.
this next slide.
Okay.
Um, so we talked about this a little bit in the first point that I get a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
if it's vegan, it's healthy. I use the example with my son want to eat all the candy, like because they say vegan, organic. No,
Mm-hmm.
baby, because it's still sugar, okay? And too much
Mm-hmm.
anything
Mm-hmm.
is usually not good.
Right.
So
Right.
people oftentimes think that if it's vegan, it's healthy. And then I get my family too. We eating vegan food, baby. This is just a vegetable. It's not vegan food. This is just a
Right.
plain like you don't
Yeah.
know this.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
just like your take on it, like you spoke about how anything, like if we're not reading labels, if we don't know what we're looking at,
Mm-hmm.
it can be unhealthy. And I know that they pass off. I know Morningstar for sure is a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like they shouldn't even advertise in the way that they do because of the stuff that they have in their products. Like even
Right.
I've read things that's advertised as vegan and still got lactic acid in it. And you can have
Yeah.
vegan lactic acid, but most of them are dairy based. And you wonder why you still got PGs. And that has happened to me before with lactic acid in both Carrigan and 2. So we have to know what
Okay.
things are. And people just see vegan, organic, and they go for
Yeah.
it. Like this is good for me. To really read those ingredients and know what they are. And I always tell people, if you don't know how to pronounce it, then you need to look that up and find out
Right.
because that's probably something you don't be putting in your body. Like I want you to research that and know what that is. And that's how I've gotten away from a lot of foods that I eat. My husband teased me. He's like, you take 2-3 hours to go grocery shopping because I gotta read
Yeah.
what I'm eating. These labels
Right.
too. Like it ain't always
Yeah.
the same thing. And I'm not growing my food. So I can't guarantee these
Right.
truth. So that's one misconception I wanted to crush. Like that's not true. If it's vegan, if it's organic, that does not mean it's healthy.
No. No,
Especially
it don't.
when she said she was gonna go, transition to veganism, and she went through that period. Let's just like I did, went into the whole frozen food section and got everything vegan.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, this so easy. This stuff is good. I look at the back of the salt content, the calories,
Yeah. Yep.
the additives.
Yep.
Like this stuff ain't even vegan or
Yeah.
healthy. Like this some bull crap. And then I realized how much more expensive that was too.
Yep.
And going to shop for these ready-made products. This stuff is processed.
It is. It
And
is.
so,
Yeah.
even with the recipes from the cookbook, when I got those things from the store, that was less than $20, and I was able.
Yeah, I know, right? And you can make a whole meal, like 3 meals. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm talking big pots of stew and
Yeah.
and different stuff. I'm like, okay, and it was very inexpensive, and I was eating fresh. I was eating local, and I didn't have to go spend $7 on a thing of vegan cheese, for
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
real food and it didn't cost a lot of money. But I think that people, when they first get into their vegan journey, they look for ease.
Yeah.
They look for food
Yeah.
they can relate to. And that's okay while you're making your transition, but also be cognizant that not all of this stuff is good. Like I see
Right.
so many people load up on that dang on soy protein isolate. I'm like, what is
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's just so much stuff, like so many things contain that. And we talked about this too. The second point, vegan diets lack essential protein. They don't. You got to eat the right things, and you also supplement.
Right.
You like I said, you don't get everything you need from food because
no.
it's just
Right.
we're in a different space in a different time where the land ain't okay. So
Right.
you definitely need to supplement, and I've been supplementing pretty much since I made my transition because I
So
realized
good.
I've been susceptible to anemia my whole life. My whole family was still half of them still over there looking pale and don't know what's going on. Why their hair can't grow?
Yeah.
Because you need vitamins.
Right.
My sister, my skin just won't get hydrated because you ain't drinking enough water. Okay,
Right.
you need water. You need to set your body up to be able to absorb all of these good things.
Right.
You need foundational stuff. So that's not true. And I've learned that I've been in the best health of my life, letting go of eating out and basically adopting a plant-based diet. Because I feel, for one, energized, and I don't feel like I'm lacking anything. But again, I've always had those supplements that I've taken. Sharonda said she had a gastric bypass, Lord, gastric bypass, and I need 80 grams of protein, and it's hard. What's a good protein powder? Sonny was just saying a good protein powder she recommended, because I remember you saying that beans was hard on your stomach. She said that getting green leafy vegetables and drying them out and creating your own protein powder to add to your food.
Yep.
Like your soup.
And you know what? Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off, but what she can do is literally go online and see, okay, how much is kale? How much is baby spinach? How much is beets? I guarantee you, if you add those up and just ask how much is a serving, you could do that. She could put that in about 3 shakes a day, because it's a powder, it'll be more concentrated. Right. But I would see how much it is. So I would just take literally that amount and do it. So if it takes 1 piece of kale, a half a beet, and that, you just multiply that by what you're going to use for the week, if that makes sense. And then okay, if I take 1 tablespoon in a smoothie, then I know that's that amount of the protein. If I put this in my water like I do, because I drink it in the water all day long, and then I put it in a smoothie, so that's how I'm getting my protein. And then I also take a multivitamin too, and it has protein in it. And a lot of the vegan multivitamins, if you really look and do your research, they understand that we do lack that as a vegan, and they'll have a little more of those things in it so that you can get that extra, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So it can be done. It seems when you in hindsight, like, damn, this is hard. But if you sit back and kind of just reflect on it, I guarantee you be knocking out them 80 grams in no time with simple things.
I love it. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
This helps me because I found a habit of really counting, how much protein I'm getting, because I keep like
Mm-hmm.
an eye on my blood pressure, and that's
Yeah.
big for me. So this is really helpful. I'm definitely gonna invest in a second dehydrator.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really even
And
have
peanut butter, that's another
peanut.
super, super simple one. What, baby, growing up, I used to look at this woman like, if we eat another item that got peanut butter, and I'm gonna lose it. Because like I said, oatmeal, all of that, I will not eat oatmeal now. I just literally started back eating peanut butter by little margins. I'll put a little bit on a crack or something. But we ate so much oatmeal and peanut butter because it had a lot of protein in it. You know what I mean? But my mom made our peanut butter. So I don't know if y'all remember back in the day, you could get like, I call them the baseball peanuts. But the baseball peanuts, you could get them for what, almost a 20-pound bag for $2. You
Yep.
know what I mean? And so those are literally like the peanuts you pay money to put in the planters thing. It's
Yeah.
the same thing. You just got to shell them. So we would be shelling them, and she would make our peanut butter out of it. So no preservatives. We got everything, the natural way. And that was huge. I hated it. I won't eat a baseball peanut to save my soul. I will not do it. But again, lots of peanuts, walnuts, pistachios, cashews, all of them literally can be ground up. Here I go with the avocado. I'm obsessed. Ground up. You could put that on top. I love avocado, anything. I mean, I just eat it. I literally and it don't have to have nothing on it. I really love avocado. But you can make a toast. You know what I mean? Watch how much protein is in the bread. I like a lot of the live breads, like the Ezekiel
I
bread.
want to
That's a
ask about
live bread.
that. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a live bread. So you got a lot of protein with them sprouts. If you know anything about making sprouts are huge. Sprouts are very, very beneficial. Especially bean sprouts. I mean, I don't personally know how I'm actually going to be taking a class with an elder, because I'm like, my mother used to do it, but I'm like watching the water, taking the water off. That's a lot of sugar for a dime, but it's necessary, because I remember eating a lot of those Brussels bean sprouts on our sandwiches, and it was good. And that was another way to get the protein and stuff like that in. So peanut butter's huge. All nuts pretty much have tons. If you don't have a nut allergy, all of those have sunflower seeds. I mean, I know those are still considered a nut, but you'd be surprised how much a handful of sunflower seeds you could use. That, put that on top of, again, avocado toast. You got a good, I know, about 40 grams of protein just on that.
Yes. Just
Mm-hmm. And
think about
you
layers.
knocking half of that out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, get your bread, got your good live Ezekiel bread, got your
Yep.
avocado, then you got your seeds. And just even from an energy standpoint, I know like days where I'll get up and just maybe skip breakfast or got moving too fast,
Mm-hmm.
feeling low, like your blood sugar dropping. Seeds are great.
Yep.
Grab a handful of sunflower
Uh-huh.
seeds, or then they tell you in nursing school, first thing you get somebody who blood sugar didn't drop, you get some peanut butter sandwich.
Yep.
It has those good carbs, and it keeps
Yep.
going. So that
Yep.
this makes a lot of sense, and it's showing
Mm-hmm.
little bitty this little food can pack so much. Like these are
Yep.
foods. And sprouts, I didn't know like the benefits of the sprouts.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
I remember putting them on when I started eating tuna sandwiches
Yeah.
in
Yep.
Savannah, Georgia, baby. You couldn't tell me nothing in Forsyth Park with that chickpea sandwich with them
Yep.
sprouts.
Yep.
That's like
Hey,
heaven.
hey, you know what, Zamika? There you go. You talking about the sandwich with that? A chickpea one replacement. You could literally get all the protein you need in that one sandwich. Sprouts, Ezekiel bread, and um chickpeas. You make that into the salad like you did the tuna, the mock tuna. That's a complete serving of the protein you need. At least 80 grams right there.
Man, that made me hungry now, and I'm gonna go make some tuna too. I'm gonna make everything. I'm gonna make
Yeah,
everything.
I love chickpeas roasted, hummus. I love chickpeas. Period. I
And
love
I never
chickpeas.
knew, like up until probably like a year and a half ago, is when I got up on chickpeas. It was a little longer than that, but I never knew
Mm-hmm.
like how expansive of a thing it was. Like you can put it in
Yeah.
everything, like everything.
Yep.
Okay,
everything.
Kiki brownies, them bad boys was busting too. Couldn't tell
Yeah.
it wasn't no, it wasn't just no
Yeah.
chocolate flour. It was
Yeah.
good. It was
Yeah.
really good. So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
really
I
opening
love
my mind to
chickpeas.
know that chickpeas don't just go in stew. They don't just.
Right.
It can be used for a lot of different things, just like the
Yeah.
avocado. And I found avocado to really be my go-to because it's a real, it's a whole meal, and you can get that
Yeah.
real quick. It come in its
Mm-hmm.
own bowl. You can literally fish it
Yeah.
out the bowl and eat it.
Literally, yeah. Add some flax seeds or some chai seeds on top of that. You got literally a power pack meal. Flex and chai. Those I put you see in my in those I have a lot of that there because those literally you can survive off the chai seeds.
What
You know that, right?
Yeah,
That's a
I
whole
got
meal.
some
You
in my cabinet. I ain't know what to do with them. Okay, come talk to me.
yeah. Yeah, chai seeds are good for everything. I mean, I love it. You could put that. That's got so much nutrients in it, and the flax seeds too. And those are both really good for breastfeeding moms too.
Okay. I was
Mm-hmm.
I think I had it for a smoothie recipe.
Mm-hmm.
Hadn't used them since, but I was wondering like I have a whole lot of these. I need to do something with them.
Yep.
I'm gonna add them to my smoothie. I did get some oats
Yep.
to go in my smoothie as well. So you never have enough, right?
Mm-mm. And these are staples. I mean, you're not gonna pay a lot for that stuff. You know what I mean? You can get them not real expensive, and it lasts for several servings.
And that's true. And that's what I
Mm-hmm.
learned with that bag. I got like a huge bag for like $5.
Yep. You can
So
make about 8 meals out of that.
man, and I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
learn to like I've known people like even to like add them and supplement them to their stews and stuff.
Yep.
Yep, just being versatile in my food and not one sided. I guess
Yeah.
learning how
Yeah.
to how to maneuver these things and not get bored
Yeah.
with it too because so
Mm-hmm.
many options.
And it can be boring. It can
But
be
even with
overwhelming.
eating meat, it can be. I know
Yeah.
people say I'm tired of eating the same chicken and pork.
Right.
And
True.
that's
True.
true. You
Yeah.
ought to be tired of how it makes you feel, like for real.
Right. That makes sense. Mm-hmm.
I created a little list here, basically of
Okay.
preservatives and additives. See, this is
Mm-hmm.
a few things that I know when I'm shopping. I look out for because they put this stuff in all
Mm-hmm.
of our food.
Mm-hmm.
And you really have to be cognizant of because these things can be very detrimental to like you
Mm-hmm.
wonder why you got these issues. I know for a fact aspartame was a contributor of migraines that I got 5 years straight.
Oh
They
yeah.
put me on antidepressants. They put me on medicines for migraine, like two different medications. Nothing really
Woo.
worked. It just made me a zombie. Like for real, it was bad. It
Mm-hmm.
was really bad. And then when I did my 21-day fast, I let go of
Yep.
diet sodas. People think, oh, it's a diet soda.
Woo. No,
It is
ma'am.
worse than the
Mm-hmm.
regular ones because at least the
Yeah.
regular ones got some kind of form of almost real sugar. It ain't real
Mm-hmm.
sugar, but
Right.
get into that
Yeah.
aspartame, it's known to cause cancer. These people know
Mm-hmm.
that it causes cancer, and it's in everything,
Mm-hmm.
everything. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so these are just a few things that I noticed. I remember buying my folks in here, like letting my husband and my son talking about letting go of chicken. They have to make their own chicken now because I really don't fool with it. Like it's
Yeah.
I got to be in a
Right.
real good mood to fry some chicken, like for real.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah.
And they're really falling off of it too because they realize when they do eat it, it don't make them feel well. But
Mm-hmm.
when shopping for chicken, I know that like the cheaper brands, when you on a budget, go
Mm-hmm.
for the store brands, and a lot of people do because especially with big families, it saves money.
Right.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
realize looking at the brands, like I'm gonna look at these ingredients because I want to know what I'm giving my family. And
Mm-hmm.
Carrigan kept popping up, Carrigan and Carrigan, and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
Then I will see it in dairy too, like even
Mm-hmm.
plant-based, like
Mm-hmm. Yep.
vegan dairy products. You know what I'm saying? And I got to doing my research, and it's known to cause IBS, and it's literally toxic to the digestive system. Now it's a form of seaweed, but it's not meant to
Yeah.
digest it. But it's a
Right.
stabilizer, and it
Yep. Yep.
helps the consistency, and it's in
Mm-hmm.
everything. And I'm like, Kareem,
Yep.
no. So anytime I see that, I'm like, red flag, no, because
Yep.
God, you can
Mm-hmm.
feel it. You literally like BGs for real when you eat.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. You do.
Because people
Yeah.
will eat like drink like
Yeah.
almond milk and be like, I still get the bubble guts like I'm
Yeah.
drinking
That's because
dairy.
it's got that in there.
Yeah,
Yep.
the
That's one of
Korean.
the main components in a lot of almond milks. It is.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't realize that they just think almond
Mm-hmm.
milk. No, they stop right there at the front. They don't look at the back
Right.
label, and they selling you
Right.
stuff that got a whole lot of extra stuff in it, not just almonds
Mm-hmm.
and water.
Right.
And then it's known to cause rheumatoid arthritis too because that's autoimmune.
Yep. Yep.
And we talked about the immune system being the gut.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yep.
comes cancer, because of course that's where a lot of this stuff is being digested and is foreign to the body. So the body
Yep.
act in a unnatural way in response to
Mm-hmm.
unnatural food. Um,
Right.
I know a lot of like the noodles, the ramen noodles,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
candies. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
they have this next one, EDTA, BHT, and BHA. A lot of the processed meats too.
Mm.
Like smoked sausages. I know in Memphis they love them red skin smoked
Hot.
sausages.
Yeah.
Nowhere else
Yeah.
in the world, and you wonder why? Because they killing us. That's why you can't find them nowhere else. That's genocide, okay?
Right.
That's why you
Yeah.
can't find it nowhere else. But a lot
Mm-hmm.
of those meats have that stuff in them, and it's a big preservative. And a lot of the fast food too, y'all. I'm gonna tell you,
Yep.
gross me out with McDonald's. My son went to summer school one year, and I dropped him off at school. And I wasn't big on cleaning my car. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm being transparent. And I got him a sandwich from McDonald's, and I dropped him off at the school. And apparently, he dropped the sandwich or something happened. I cleaned my car that winter, and that sandwich was still in the same spot, and it looked the very same as the day that we bought it. It did not mold. It didn't turn
Oh
any
no. Oh no.
else. A sausage sandwich, y'all. Sausage.
Yeah.
It did
Yeah.
not meet an entire summer. It spent an entire summer, a
In the
fall,
car.
and a winter, and nothing
Uh-uh.
happened. You have to know something is wrong. The bread got a
Mm-hmm.
little hard, but even the bread wasn't stale. You know,
No more. No more.
like who that what is in this
Mm-mm.
food? And if this does this in natural air, if it does not decompose in natural air, then it's probably sitting in our bellies too, right?
Yeah.
Our body
Yeah.
can't digest this stuff, or how is it
Uh-uh.
digesting it? It grows
Mm-hmm.
me out, and I'm like, no. So every time we look at my folks don't know what McDonald's is. If you buy some McDonald's and bring it in here, you're finna get a blessing,
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
really not just McDonald's; it's all fast food because it's meant
Mm-hmm.
to be preserved for a certain amount
Right.
of time
Right.
and be on call and ready when somebody order it. So
Exactly. Yeah.
real chewing gum, potato
Mm-hmm.
chips, some vegetable oils. You will be amazed when you see that EDTA, BHT, and BHA
Yeah.
run
Mm-hmm.
for the hills. Okay,
Right.
it's known
Mm-hmm.
to cause cancer, and it also
Mm-hmm.
alters the neurological system. We are what we eat.
Right.
And some of this stuff is systematic, and you'll see this in a lot of the foods that are eaten predominantly by Black people. Ramen noodles,
Mm-hmm.
things like that. And we think
Yeah.
it's easy. We can easily pop that in the microwave for our kids for 2 minutes, and they eat it and they
Right.
eat it. But what
And just
effect
imagine those preservatives, how they process, and then you pop it in the microwave. You literally creating a whole bomb. You literally creating the atomic bomb. Seriously, for real. That is a whole nother level of whoa. You know what I mean? For real.
exactly. And we wonder why
Yeah.
these kids got ADD and they having these
Yeah.
deficiencies. It's because what we're giving them is fuel, and we
Mm-hmm.
starting these kids off so young, and that's
With it.
where there's
Mm-hmm.
the building blocks where they're absorbing the most of these things.
Yeah.
When
Yep.
I see the difference in consciously raising my youngest and how I raised my
Mm-hmm.
others just out of habit of what I was told and the
Right.
learn. Like this kid is not even 3; he was potty trained at 18 months. This kid
Yeah.
actually really before 18 months. This
Mm-hmm.
kid literally can tell you what he wants to eat. He gets himself dressed in the AM. He brushes his own teeth, washes his own
Mm-hmm.
face, like gets his like he is. I ain't never seen nothing like it before in my life. It,
Right.
it goes to
Right.
show when you give them a proper head start. Like he catches
Mm-hmm.
on the concepts, colors, numbers, words
Yeah.
fast because we've given him a proper head start. And I think a
Mm-hmm.
lot of what he consumes has a lot to do with that. And
Right.
that's just my
No, that's true. That's real. I believe that. Mm-hmm.
because like a lot of these kids, like a lot of kids have a lot of learning deficiencies, and you sitting here feeding them garbage. Like that's your
Yeah.
fuel. What are you?
Yeah. On top of the medications that you're given, it all has a connection, and then it all has a result that comes as a, at the end of the foods, the preservatives, the medication, all of that. In certain foods, you even know if it even says with medications, don't take this medication if. That right there is enough to be like, well, hold the hell up. What's going on? You know what I mean? Why are we not allowed to eat this when you take this? You got to wait 30 minutes. It all is connected.
And you brought up a good point. The FDA, we don't even realize, we don't even get the correlation here in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Food and Drug Administration, the same people who regulate the medications that we put in our body, regulates the amount of whatever goes into our food that's allowed. Okay. So if
Yep.
they make us sick and sell us a cure, then it's them constantly making money.
That's
Okay.
how it works.
I
Mm-hmm.
realized that I was looking at the components of a birth control pill because I had someone to ask me about it. And
Mm.
I was looking like what was actually in it. It had some of those same preservatives that's in food.
Yep.
And I'm like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Entire
Yep.
it's crazy. It really is.
Yep. So couple that, while a lot of women are not able to have kids, they having fertility issues. Couple that with the food, all the years that they mama thought they was fast, putting them on birth control pills at a very, you know what I mean, at a very young age. That's another stigma that I think in the Black community we need to elevate ourselves from, because that is a reality that has screwed up a lot of us. But okay, that's something else. But couple with the food, couple with that, and then you wonder why when you get married or you find your life partner or you don't find a partner and decide you want to have kids, why you have such issues. It's because coupled with diet, coupled with the birth control, coupled with environment, all of that together has played. And then don't forget dad or the donor, whomever that is, because again, women, we are not the solo ones. A lot of times he ain't right. You know what I mean? So he the one with the real, but it's always thrown on, oh, with a woman, couple with him, couple with her, and then couple it together. That's where a lot of fertility issues are coming and being presented.
It's mind, body, and soul. And I'm glad you brought up about males again, because usually the women in our society are the ones to go seek help when something's imbalanced.
Yep.
And the males don't go see what your result was to based on their health. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna piggyback on your checkup. And that's how it happens. And women end up getting the blame a lot of times from that, because they're the ones that's seeking the help and the men kind of shy from it. But it is definitely especially in pregnancy, the partner has, I won't even say an equal part, it's probably more so of a part, because they see.
Right.
And if they're not, like my husband and I really had to have a sit down, because my diet was one way and his was another, and his pH was affecting mine. I was like, we got to get something together here.
Right.
I can eat all this stuff.
That's real. Yeah.
Cheetos, and I'm talking about this ain't fair, buddy.
Yeah.
So he really had to take that into consideration. Like, for real, we had to have a sit down, because I'm like, I'm
that's real.
going through this. And that is so true. We have to be mindful of our partners and their diet, because if you're being intimate with somebody, not to be just so, it is a true, and it's for real. When y'all are swapping fluids, that's what their body is composed and consists of, what they're eating, what they're consuming. And when and you take on that when you lay with them, okay? So you have to think about that energy transference to, and the energy transference to your kids. Oh my God, this has been a story
it's true.
of my life. You be like, what the hell was I thinking? But you didn't know no better.
It's real. If you sit back and really reflect on that, I guarantee there's not one person that won't sit back and be like, well, damn, you know what? I didn't think of but then you see now, but like I said with mine, how these kids born with eczema? Who in the hell? But then the grandma talking about, oh, it's in the family. No, ma'am, that's not. It's the way y'all have handled and dealt with things. I don't believe in stuff transferring, because like you said, for your own self, my family came from complete health issues. I have not had any. My sister, she got, we got older. She branched back out. The doctor told her, no, ma'am. However you were living before, because we have different dads. And so all her siblings on her father's side, they all have health issues.
Wow.
He was like, well, what about the sibling on your mother's side? She was like, well, oh, she don't have no issues. He was like, well, who did you grow up with? She was like, I grew up with my mother's, with the sister from my mother's side. He was like, well, why don't you go on and get in touch with her? Tell her how to get back on track, because that's what you need to do. Literally, I'm like, come on, you know what to do. I made her buy a cookbook. You're not getting nothing. You had this same information. You're gonna buy a cookbook.
Okay.
She jumped back on course, literally, and within 3 months, all the health issues that she was on the border with, all was gone. That was 8 years ago. She done got it together and stayed on the right side of things. Because like you said, it makes a huge difference. I don't believe in hereditary things. I do believe hereditary habits are what causes hereditary health issues.
that's what I was told, that hypertension ran in my family. And that's not true, because as soon as I was diagnosed, and with this last,
Mm-hmm.
not this pregnancy, but with Ducci, she was telling me, baby, that's not hereditary. That's just your
Mm-hmm.
habits, the same way as your mama and grandmama. And that's why y'all got
Yep.
the same issues.
Mm-hmm.
Not anything that's embedded in your system. And I've proven it to be a complete lie,
Yep.
that it runs in the family, because I have had no issues with blood
Mm-hmm.
pressure since converting my diet. My
Yep.
sister recently she's in the process of transitioning. She
Mm-hmm.
actually had a very big scare with being anemic. Now, mind you, she's a
Mm.
meat eater. Um,
Yeah.
but also consuming a lot of alcoholic beverages, and people don't realize
Mm-hmm.
alcohol blocks
Yeah.
B vitamins.
It do. It
Um,
do.
and that plays a
Unless you get my kind of wine. Unless you get my wine.
listen,
Okay.
I'm
No,
ready for it. I'm ready. Do you hear me?
right.
I'm so ready. I'm so
I
ready.
always throw that out. People like, what? I'm like, hey, no, because all mine is medicinal. All mine is medicinal. But okay.
It's made
But
the
that's
right
because
way.
of all the preservatives.
Exactly.
Regular wine has, and then another thing I tell vegans, not cutting you off. If you're a vegan and you drink wine, you might as well just drink sugar, because the sugar that they put in there is not organic, and they put in tons of preservatives in it. So you need to find you a vegan wine if that's the space you want to be in.
I can't wait to try this vegan wine. I'm telling you,
Yeah.
hey, for real. I'm gonna come up here
Yeah.
and have it on standby. Um, because I'm telling you, I saw it. I'm like, it just, not that I'm trying to get, lit, saying that.
Right.
But even
Yeah.
still, like, just to know that it comes from this place, that I can still have an alcoholic beverage as an adult,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing that
Yep.
I know where it came from, and this stuff is
Yeah.
because the first thing you see on wine bottles is it contains sulfites, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, and that's
Right.
and you just feel good.
Yep.
And you don't feel good after drinking it. That was one thing
Mm-hmm.
for me. Like, I would enjoy an occasional glass of wine, but after drinking it, I would feel like crap. And it makes sense.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing but sugar. Give
Nothing but
sugar
sugar.
high, then you drop.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna feel
Right. If
like
anything can stay on the shelf, I suggest run away from it, because it has to have some form of a preservative.
yeah. It has to have
It
some.
has to keep, most items have to keep for at least a year and a half.
Wow.
What in the world? What in the world? If you put your grape juice that you drink on the counter for what, 3 or 4 days, that's changing. You think you Jesus then,
Go
changing
stir
water to
that
wine.
vinegar.
Right. And it's so you gotta be mindful. Like you said, put a piece of bread on the counter, it's molding in 3 days, but you can have something that's gonna last 5 or 6 months. What in the world is being put in the food that it can preserve that long? Most all items on the shelf have to be able to last for at least a year and a half.
Wow.
That's why you can get something in 2012 and it don't expire until 2013, the end of it, because it's got huge amounts of preservatives in order for it to have that longevity.
And they're trading that, being able to have that long shelf life, and getting
Mm-hmm.
product to more people,
Yep.
the health of this country, because they're making money off of illness.
Yep. It's a big money maker.
You don't
It's a big money
get,
maker.
get cured in hospitals. You see
Mm-hmm.
people
Mm-mm.
get patched up.
Yeah.
My midwife told me, she said, I can either fix your high blood pressure, you can fix the underlying cause, or you can get
Mm-hmm.
patched up with medication.
Yep.
I chose to go the route of changing my diet to fix the
Yeah.
problem. And also, like you said, not just my diet, changing my mental. I learned
Yeah.
I learned to meditate. I learned to breathe. I learned
Yeah.
to journal and let things out, because a lot of issues that I was having was
Mm-hmm.
internal, because I didn't have an outlet. I wasn't able to
Yeah.
get them out. So I was dealing with, people don't understand how mental things manifest
Yeah.
too. So if I'm
And you know what, coupling before you go to something else, that mental is so key. My mother was a pastor, so I don't know if anybody understands what the role of a pastor is, especially a female in the 70s and 80s. It was completely unheard of.
wow.
My mother had 3 strokes, and they were so amazed that she wasn't dead. But the doctor came to my sister and I was like, she's gonna die. So prepare yourself. This is how he came. He was like, because the stroke she had, one alone, she gonna die. So y'all go ahead and start preparing. And we like, okay, well, you must don't realize who you're talking about, because we know my mother. And literally, she was supposed to never walk again, never talk again. All of that she did. And we ended up finding out the complete underlining case was not her health, was not how she ate, was stress. So all that to say, I tell people all the time, I don't care if you've been vegan for 50 years or 2 years. If your mental is not right, That's why I say that a lot. You hear me say, like I said, it's hand in hand because I've seen how it works. My mother was a pastor in the industry that had no respect for her, and not her diet, not how she moved. It was her mental that caused her to have that space. So again, it's all, when you ask about the consciousness, it don't matter if you give up meat, but if your mind ain't right, it's still gonna have some issues. So I can firmly say, with like, be mindful of everything, still be able to channel out, deal with the mental stuff, do what needs to be done for your mental health, no matter if you eat meat or you're eating vegetables. It all needs to be done.
Mind, body, and soul. And I know that when I changed
Exactly.
my diet, it allowed me to see things clearer because I wasn't absorbing all that depression from that beef,
Mm-hmm.
all of this sadness from that chicken.
Yep.
You know, and I was able to know what emotions were truly mine and what I wasn't absorbing.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So that really helped me to be whole spiritually because it
Yeah.
allowed me to quiet that chatter of what wasn't
Mm-hmm.
mine into.
Yep.
So it's really, it all goes hand in hand. And like you spoke, your mom was vegan and had
Mm-hmm.
trouble because of the amount of stress and pressure she had.
Yep.
And also
Mm-hmm.
environment is big too. I speak about that
Yeah.
in birthing, but it's
Right.
in your everyday. You can be as healthy as a horse, but if you're around somebody that's toxic or in a toxic
Yep.
environment, you still absorbing that energy. And
Yes,
it's
you
laying
are.
out on, you know, your health. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Manifest in some kind of way, mentally
Yeah.
or spiritually. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really that's that right there.
Yeah.
You spoke right there for real.
Mm-hmm.
Just to go over the rest of these little additives, and if y'all want a copy of these slides, I got them for you. Somebody coming through. If y'all want a copy of the slides, I got them for you. But potassium sorbate is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Found in a lot of breads, a lot of baked
Yeah.
goods. Because think about them during them cakes and stuff that Kroger been on the shelf for months.
Right.
And, you know, we
Yeah.
don't know, you know, how they stay in there without being mold. Because I know grandma put a cake up there a couple days, it's getting stale. You
Mm-hmm.
know, she put it in the
Yep.
cake plate. But these things have like expiration dates, like you said, a 6-year month. I mean, a 6-year expiration
Mm-hmm.
date. A 6-month expiration date or a year expiration date. And it's
Mm-hmm.
because of these additives. And again, some of the pickles, the processed pickles have
Yeah.
potassium sorbate in them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a stabilizer, so it's a known
Yep.
carcinogen too. Isolated soy protein, I can't say that enough. Like it's not even fully soybean. Like it's
Right.
isolated. It's a portion of it that broke down
Right.
and then God
Mm-hmm.
knows what to. So it's not even the full plant that you're getting
Mm-hmm.
or the full bean that you're getting. So you don't
Right.
not even getting no benefits from that. It's just not even. It's really pointless.
Right.
Also, these things are known to cause issues with female reproductive system. Like I said, it
Mm-hmm.
causes like estrogenic effects, like it acts as an estrogen in the body. So if it does
Mm-hmm.
that to women, imagine what it may do to men. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then we got to think about, we talked about the harshness of dairy and soy, but that's what
Mm-hmm.
formulas are made of for babies.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. High fructose corn syrup is also in baby
Woo.
formula. This is
Yeah,
a
it sure is.
good
Mm-hmm.
Lord, it's nothing,
Mm-hmm.
it's not even real sugar. It's processed
Mm-hmm.
sugar that's been refined. I don't know in how many different ways. But it's
Right.
known to cause an instant insulin resistance. So when your body
Mm-hmm.
resists, can't really make enough insulin and it's getting all of these sweetening agents in it and all of these sugary products, that's where type 2 diabetes is caused.
Yep.
So a lot of the times the doctor will even tell you you can change your diet and cure yourself from type 2 diabetes for sure. But you got to think about what you put in your diet to cause type 2
Mm-hmm.
diabetes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So getting on a pill just to reverse the effects of it is not going to help, especially
Right.
continuing to eat the same things. It's not helping.
Mm-hmm.
You are what you eat. MSG, we spoke about earlier, a lot of the
Mm-hmm.
foods have
Lot of it.
in it. They
Mm-hmm.
have no issues, but it messes with our brain,
Right. It do.
high blood
Yeah.
pressure,
Yeah.
headache, all kinds
Yeah.
of stuff.
Uh-huh.
We can't mess with it in a lot of fast food.
Mm-mm.
I remember the biggest component in KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and
Mm.
also in Popeyes with their chicken sandwich full of MSG.
Yeah, I could
Full
believe
of
that.
MSG.
Had people
Crazy.
fighting and shooting each other.
Just to kill each other. And it's because MSG makes things taste better.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
gives you that mental feeling of this really tastes
Mm-hmm.
good. And if you really like
Mm-hmm.
how something tastes, guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna buy it again. And
Yep.
they do to get you hooked. It's like a drug. It really is.
Yeah,
It has
it
that
is.
effect. So these are the real drugs, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Sodium nitrate, a lot of processed meats, again, the sausages, the lunch meats, things
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Known carcinogen. Sodium nitrate is in so many different things because it's a preservative. Sodium salt has been a known preservative for so long, but in
Mm-hmm.
organic form, it's okay. But when these people
Right.
it, and all of this stuff they created in the lab, what do you think is going to happen to a body that's not meant to process this stuff?
Right.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and huge artificial dyes. Yellow number 5, blue number 1,
Right.
red number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Run
Yeah.
for the hills. And it's in most of these kids' candies and things they like to
Yep.
eat. Hot Cheetos, Takis. That stuff,
Yeah.
man. My
Yep.
son ate some Takis when he first came to live with me, and he was like, I don't ever want these again in my life. I've been on the toilet
Mm-hmm.
all day. I took
Ooh.
sat him down and I said, baby, read what's in here. Half of that stuff he couldn't even pronounce. I said, that's
Yeah.
your body.
Yeah.
No go.
Mm-hmm.
They've really refrained away from this stuff. And
Yeah.
when he came to live with me, he was pretty hefty. Like, he was chunky, real chunky.
Mm-hmm.
Because all he did was sit on the game all day and eat stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I told myself we can continue this lifestyle. I don't want to shock his system by saying you got to
Right.
eat.
Right.
Old school, that's what they would have did. You gonna eat what I
Right.
cook. But I want it to be gentle, more gentle.
Mm-hmm.
But I also said if I don't buy it, he can't eat it.
Right.
So I stopped buying it, and you should see, his health now, mentally, how he is
Mm-hmm.
so much
Mm-hmm.
better than when he came. Like, it was a change,
Yeah.
just by diet alone. That was just
Mm-hmm.
eliminate some of this thing.
And you know what? Before you go somewhere else, I like to. I've had many parents come to me like, "Well, I'm trying to switch my diet, but my kids want." I'm like, "Well, do they have a job?
Right.
Do they got a car? If you the one providing the food, then guess what?
You got the power over it.
You got the power. I don't believe in like you don't do it, but I'm like, come on, bro. How they gonna not? Right. Do what you need to do. Replace some of that stuff with other things. Guess what? If they get hungry enough, they gonna figure that out.
You better know it. My son on them apples, them oranges down there.
Yep.
Go and get them. I keep fresh fruit plentiful because if you get hungry, you can always go grab a piece
Yep.
of
original fast food. That's the original fast food.
There you go. I like it. Exactly what it is for me too. You can go always grab a banana, go grab an apple, piece of fruit. Like my go-to been in this pregnancy, avocado. My husband, I'm gonna turn into an avocado because it's something you can eat fast and get what you do and give you fuel for your day. And you don't have to sit down and have this big, huge meal.
Yep.
I don't care how many apples you eat. That's fine. Keep eating them. They're gonna be go to the bathroom. That's cool.
That's yeah.
But we can't be having like them snack cakes and all of that good stuff in
right.
Because I know that that's something that you're accustomed to.
Right.
Have those, but that's not something that I'm gonna buy on a regular basis with my money. And when you get your job, you're free to do what you please.
You do what you do, right?
Then he made a point. He said, when I was at my grandmama's, we don't go to the doctor here. I said, no, you don't. You sure don't.
Yeah.
He said, well, and my grandmama, he got mad at me. He said, we used to get checkups and all that, our shots and all that. I said, baby, count how many times you've been sick since you've been here. Well, I haven't.
Yeah.
You ain't no doctor. It's your food.
Right.
You didn't have to go get all that. I'm talking about he had chronic colds, stuffiness, respiratory issues, all of that stuff gone because he don't have the contributors of that. I've eliminated that. And it was so funny. We don't use medicine in this house, baby. Food is our medicine. Quit playing. Quit playing. And that's just something I really had to just I had that because it's a personal perspective of I've seen just how food can transform a life. Not just my children as well.
Right.
And it's powerful.
It's huge. Yeah.
Powerful. We can read. Our ancestors, a lot of them were deprived, not able to do that. We can read a label and we can say we have our money and we have spending power to say, I'm not gonna buy it and I'm not gonna get it to my kid. And sometimes it's tough because our kids are used to eating that, but they'll get over it. I promise they will.
I don't know how it is for you guys down there, but I thought it was so dope here in Kansas with the SNAP program. They are allowed to, like, for instance, if you were to go buy like a bag of chips, but if you buy like a cucumber, you get 2 for the price of 1.
What?
And you can do that. Yeah, you're allowed to do it like at the farmer's market. So I'm like that. Yeah, I thought that was really dope. And I'm like, I didn't know if a lot of other places do that because you get a lot of times you get these families that are allowed to get, help. and you got the money. So it's not like you don't have the money to eat a little better. Like you said, you bought all that stuff literally for $20. You go to $20 and get lunch meat or whatever the case may be, you're going to spend way more. But if you take that, and so then if you can double it at the farmer's market, then you literally doubling the amount of food that you have. So I don't know if a lot of other programs have that there, but I know here in Kansas, they do have that program.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to check it out here. I know they had a really good program with the farmers market and SNAP and some.
Okay, yeah, she said, okay, yeah.
Oh, really? Somebody commented. That's
and said it is.
That's dope. That's my, I'm hearing of that, and I know that like my sister, when she was getting benefits, and she would go to like Whole Foods and all of that stuff, and she would buy all this processed stuff, and she'd be like, "Girl, I just spent all my stamps on this one."
and you know what's so crazy, Yamika? What's so dope about that? Like I said, I don't believe in those health food stores, but I used to tell a lot of my clients and friends, go there, because they only started allowing vision card was when we had that big hit in the economy and white people started having to need vision cards. They wasn't about to lose money, Sprouts and Whole Foods, because white people didn't have money. So when it hit, guess what? They opened it up so that white people could go in there with their food stamps and they SNAP cards and still buy the food. So I tell Black people, baby, if you got to catch the bus, however you got to do, if you want to switch it up, I wouldn't personally shop there, but if you want to go ahead and do it, because now it's open. Before, you couldn't go to them stores and spend no vision card. Oh no, that wasn't the space. But when they needed it, it got flipped around. So I'm like, do what you got to do to be able to get those same benefits. Yeah,
you know what? That's foundational, because I didn't know, because I had to actually Google it for my sister. She was like, "Do Sprouts take And so this is something that ain't that old. At first,
no more than about 10-15 years. When we had that big where everybody was losing stuff, properties, jobs, and everything, that's when they started opening it up. That was literally when it started opening up. Like I want to say 2004, 3, around then, when that big boom hit where everybody was losing everything. That's when it hit. That's when they started opening up to allow. Now they don't allow like WIC and stuff, but they do allow you to spend your SNAP card or your vision card at the health food stores.
Because a lot of, not just Whole Foods, but a lot of these farmer markets, and like I know for me, natural grocers, you get a quality of produce. Quality of food.
So they couldn't have that. They wasn't gonna be hurting too bad in the pocket, because if the white families can't spend, then how they gonna make money? They adapted to that real quick. They adapted real fast.
Where they fit
in. Exactly. So it also opened it up for us that do get benefits. You can go there too now and get, if you feel you not getting the proper produce where you live now, you can go and get the same profit of produce and stuff from there and use your vision card or a SNAP card or whatever.
The two things too. I love that. You can and these are meals that's actually lasting, because I know you go buy a lunch meat, that stuff gone just like that. Them kids is going through that stuff like 40 going north, and you can meals and cook. I think that's when too started to get back in the kitchen and cooking real meals. That lasts longer. Phoenix said, "Oh, she can't find." Okay, this list is kind of small. I had to present it in a different way, but I can email you these slides directly to you in a PDF.
Okay, good.
Later, and Michaela asked the same thing, so I'll definitely send these slides to y'all for y'all to be able to review. Absolutely, I'm absolutely down for that. I had to include these beautiful recipes on here. Y'all, look, this I had to toot my little own horn. This is my own picture right here, just this one. Stunning. But we tore this salad up, y'all. It's so cheap. Y'all, you get one squash. If I'm gonna make some for my son too. Some sunflower seeds. I paid $1.25 for an onion. Listen, it's so simple. Red onion, sunflower seeds, raisins, garlic clove, like avocado. Simple, different, simple ingredients. And you can look here and see how simple these ingredients are. And I was able to make several meals at one time. That's how simple they were. And a lot of them had a lot of the same ingredients, just used way, soup, stews, some of them fresh in the refrigerator, like this broccoli squash salad, which is now a staple, because I remember I used to get one from Walmart from the deli.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
had so much stuff in it that I didn't know what it was, and it also had dairy.
yeah, yeah.
And
And you know what, Zamika, this recipe actually, it's not a family recipe. My ex-husband, he used to go to a synagogue because he was Jewish. So he would go to a synagogue, and the older women, I'm talking about, some of these women had like the numbers because they were part of like the children of the Holocaust. And they just really took a liking to me. And so they would give me recipes, you know, like, well, oh, you need to cook for him, blah, blah, blah. And this was one of those recipes. I just made it vegan. So I would take it because they would have a dinner every week. So I would take it and they just loved it. So that is the actual old Jewish recipe, that the icebox broccoli and squash salad. Mm-hmm.
Amazing. And I was
Yeah.
impressed with myself, y'all.
Yeah.
With the dressing that I made from the avocado.
Yeah.
You can tell me nothing. You can tell me I wasn't on Chopped. Making that making that dressing in that ninja. You
Yeah.
tell me nothing. I was a chef,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And I just felt so empowered. And then when
Yeah.
like, first of all, before it was chill, I tasted it and I'm like, this is bomb. But after
Mm-hmm.
it stayed in the refrigerator, I
Woo.
left it overnight. Good God Almighty.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Mm-hmm.
like 1, 2 a.m. I'm in the bed with this stuff. I'm
Yeah.
like, for real. Sitting here eating this because
Yes.
it's like a sweet treat, but it's also
Yep.
feeling like it has so many different layers of flavor. So I
Mm-hmm.
highly recommend this, y'all. And it's
Yeah, that's my favorite.
all
Yeah.
it takes is a little bit of prep work, not even really.
Mm-hmm.
Like you just
And you could take that to all potlucks too. That's why I like, if you do barbecues. I mean, my family be like, "Oh boy, here she come," but I would never leave with any of it. You know, everybody bringing
right,
potato salad and cold, and I'd have that. It would be the first gone. You got some more of that vegan stuff? You know what I mean? But
they
you could
find
take
and you
that
were
to a
prepared to
potluck.
go.
Barbecues, because it holds up well like a potato salad or
Yeah.
something would.
It
But you
reminds
don't
me
have to
of
worry
like
about it because you don't have the egg and the dairy and stuff in there.
and that really does provide a peace of mind because you have to look about that stuff going bad on you, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
this was able to last. Like I told y'all, it only made it to like Wednesday, but it was able to show stability
Mm-hmm.
until we ate it. But you know, just and I know like things like potato salad that can only last
Yep.
a day or so, a couple days
Mm-hmm.
because of what's in it. And this had
Mm-hmm.
dairy, but you couldn't tell me that it didn't with that
Yeah.
avocado in there. Like it was really
I
so
love it. I love it.
bomb
Yeah.
that. I'm going too fast now. Now here go
Oh.
my smoothies. Hold on. Here we go, y'all. And she said they find a hard time to having a hard time reading it. So again, I'll get y'all these slides.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, I'm trying these smoothies. Y'all better know I'm gonna be giving the review. I already know
Mm-hmm.
the recipes that I've already tried. I'm in love with. They become staples already. And I'm looking forward to utilize them in the postpartum period. But
Mm-hmm.
just looking at what these are, like the components of these smoothies, these are whole meals.
Mm-hmm. They are.
Like you
Yeah.
can't go wrong with it, and then it's
Mm-hmm.
like you're drinking it. You don't have to sit down and have,
Yeah.
especially if you're on a go. You get in what
Mm-hmm.
you need, and it's so convenient to be able to do this. And like you said, you can make this into an ice cream. You can make it
Mm-hmm.
into popsicles. I'm looking forward to being able to explore and experiment with this.
Yeah.
I see my order from Sprouts arrived. We've been addicted to Instacart over here. We ain't gotta
Yeah.
move.
A
We
lot.
ain't gotta go there and deal with people in the public. We can just order some stuff and they bring it to your
Yep.
doorstep. We love it.
Mm-hmm.
So when I get off, like I'm telling y'all, I'm gonna go Chef Ramsay in this kitchen, like for real.
Come on through. Yeah.
They won't ever tell
Mm-hmm.
me nothing. But here are two examples of the smoothies, the blues and berry good, which all provide so
Mm-hmm.
many good nutrients, all vegan. And
Yeah.
if you transition it, she's even included things like yogurt or milk if you have
Mm-hmm.
completely transitioned to vegan, so that you can still
Right.
benefits of these things. But just like she said, with that dairy, it creates a barrier of mucus,
Mm-hmm.
like a layer of mucus, and you really can't absorb everything that you need. So
Mm-hmm.
I recommend doing the non-dairy version, but you got to meet your
Yeah.
sweat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I recommend these because they just jam packed with so much. I was waiting on my blackstrap molasses, but yeah,
Right.
on
I love that. And the blackstrap molasses, I mean, people, you don't want to eat it alone because it's not sweet or anything like that. If you remember being a kid and your grandma would probably give it to you, or you remember molasses cookies back in the day, you remember them little molasses cookies, they were good, but I mean, you would never eat molasses alone, but coupled with all of the ingredients, it's really good. And it was a young lady, I think she asked what blackstrap molasses is. To be honest with you, I don't know. But growing up, it was what we used as a sweetener, that and honey. We didn't have sugar or anything like that. But blackstrap molasses is also what is used to make brown sugar. So brown sugar literally is the sugar before it's completely broke down, because brown sugar has more of I call it like a sand consistency.
Yes.
That's because it hasn't been completely stripped. So what they do is they mix blackstrap molasses with it, and that's what gives it the brown color.
Okay.
So if you ever need a recipe for blackstrap for brown sugar, you can make your own. Get you some blackstrap molasses. I prefer the Burr Rabbit because that's just what we grew up having, the Burr Rabbit kind. There's a lot of others. I think Cairo makes one. I don't trust anything they do. Now, back in the day, they were where it was at because my family used a lot of their products, but now I wouldn't trust anything they do. But the Burr Rabbit has been true. Again, it's over 100 years old. I don't believe the people that claim they made it. You know what I mean? So I like to get products that I know were way back when, because I know our hands had something to do with it, if that makes sense. So that's another way how I like to pay homage to the ancestors, because I know they had something to do with that.
And you know what? I was really torn on looking at a brand, and I would never use the K-Roll again because I have really traumas from it, because I gave my child K-Roll spirit.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I was like, I did see that brand, and then I saw one made locally. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna check.
Oh, good. Wow. Yeah. Heck yeah.
It's a lot of products like that in Colorado that's made locally. These people are very health conscious in this part.
Oh, heck yeah.
So it's really like a lot of herbs and things. You have a lot of stuff like that, because they really, it's not a very like fertile when it comes to like greenery, because it's dry here.
Right.
Believe in growing their own products and staying indigenous to the area.
Yeah, that's dope.
They're big on that here, and that's one thing I really appreciate, because you get a lot of products. And my favorite part, y'all, the soups. The carrot soup is the one that I have not tried yet, but
oh my God, that's my favorite.
That's going on my objective for next weekend. Listen,
I'm
excited. I've really become more like when it comes to curry and things of that nature, and dealing with coconut on more than just a sweetener, but coconut so many different things. And I've been eating a lot of dishes with coconut milk in it, and it's like comforting and soothing and filling.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm excited to try this soup, because I can only imagine.
Yeah, it's so good. That's one of my, and again, that's a drinking soup. Like I said, it's a to-go soup. Put it in a container or something like that cup thing that I had, because I love that cup. And you can like take it on the go, and you literally having a whole meal in the cup.
While you sipping and going, like you got a coffee or whatever, you got your whole meal right there.
A whole meal,
Like
that's
especially
one of
in
my
the
favorites.
postpartum period. Think about how busy you are with a baby on the and changing diapers like 40 going north and trying to get rest. If you can sip that and get those nutrients,
Set it right next to your bed, because it don't have all those preservatives in it, and it'll last through the night. I did a lot of that like this. It would literally be when I'm feeling like, oh, he's sucking the life out of me, then I would just lean over, give me a power sip. And so it helped. That's something that can be eaten cold or hot. So it don't have to always be hot. It can be cold too.
Okay, I cannot wait to try this. This is one I haven't tried. And the spinach and tomatoes, I got the wrong picture here. No, I don't. This is the right picture.
No, I think that one's right.
Right picture. The spinach and tomatoes for me, this is one thing that got better as it sat for me. Like, so good the first day. I was like, this is because I'm hungry, y'all. This is real good. It kept getting better. And I found out that my son thought the same thing, and he ended up tearing it up before I could. He finished off the whole pot, like seriously. And I felt really good about it, because I gave him something that could actually nourish his body, and I felt good about giving it to him because I knew exactly what was in it. It was fresh. We made it with our own hands. We didn't grow the veggies, but we know, we got the veggies we could get in the area. And it really showed, like you said, the soul of the food prepared. Taking the time out to cut it up with your own hands and cook and spending that time talking to my son. I think that really contributed to a lot of how the food tastes too. I become more conscious of how I am when I prepare food, especially for my I'm moody, pregnant. So I know if I'm having a moody day and I'm not in such a good mood,
Right.
mindful on how I prepare my folks food. I
Mm-hmm.
get myself together before I do that, because you putting energy into that. When you stand
Yep, that's real.
that energy in there,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be. I've realized that dishes don't turn out so great if I'm over there throwing seasonings and mad, cussing people out.
Right, yeah.
I'm like, damn,
So just imagine when you go out to eat.
oh my
I tell
God, it's
people
scary.
you know what I mean? Because you don't know what, and then you wonder like, man, my stomach hurt when you leave it. It's all connected.
Somebody that made that with a stomach ache or with some bad energy, and we
Mm-hmm.
own that. And that's why my family and I don't eat out as much as we used to. It's convenient,
Yeah.
it's cool or whatever, but I just really don't trust the hands that prepare, because I don't know who they
Mm-hmm.
are. I don't know what they're going
Mm-hmm.
through. And that's really important, like for real, when it comes to you eating that. You're absorbing,
Yeah.
using that for fuel. So we gotta be conscious.
Mm-hmm.
This was so much food. I'm over here just talking. We 17 minutes after, and I know Sonny has engagement. So if you could, the people I know they want this info. Get
Mm-hmm.
this recipe book. Like I have to purchase the book myself. I had a few recipes
Yes.
to try, so I know that I definitely can benefit from it. Where can we find this book, Sonny? We need people.
I will put it, it's in my online store, and I'll put it in your group, or I can just text it to you or inbox it to you, and then you can share it
Who
in the emails if people are interested when you send out the links and stuff like that.
things. So that's what I'll do, and I'll post it if it's okay on my personal Facebook page as well.
Oh yeah, no problem.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I'll do, because I definitely need to invest in this, and I will tell y'all I wanted to personally try some of these recipes, because I was in need at the time. I really did need
Mm-hmm.
some more options, but I wanted to try them to be able to give a personal, my personal
Mm-hmm.
opinion of what happened. It's just my opinion, and let me tell y'all, just as somebody who is really missing home cooked food,
Mm-hmm.
real soul food, like comforting food, this really hit the spot for me. This felt like home, eating these kind of,
Mm-hmm.
and I felt good about it. It did not tear my pockets up, and they were very, very easy. I can
Mm-hmm.
cook stuff, but I ain't gonna lie to you, like I'm just like the chef of the world. I'm not.
Right.
So these were very easy to do. They're very easy to freeze, and go and reheat and all of these different things. So I'm really, really grateful, and I'm looking
And
to.
you know what, Zamika, before you go any further, I want to say the whole purpose behind me making the book was for that very reason.
Nice.
Growing up, I grew up in a single parent home. My mother didn't have a lot of money. Again, I told you she was a pastor, so you already know how that goes. And we wasn't the one that was taking people's money, if that makes sense. Okay. So anyway, we were poor. I mean, we were really, really poor. And so we still were able to eat like that. So when people were telling me, well, I can't eat vegan because it's too expensive.
Yeah.
So everything you can find at your Piggly Wiggly, you can find it at the farmer's market. You don't have to go to Whole Foods. People were like, well, what is this ingredient? I've never heard of it. Hell, I ain't heard of it either. You know what I mean? People coming up, but again, these are new trends of people
Yeah.
not looking like us. You can't relate seasoning salt, although I don't deal with seasoning salt like that. But if you need it, that's what you can use in
Right.
replacement. We don't use a lot of salt when we cook. Pink Himalayan salt is our favorite. Lots of herbs. So most of my recipes have that in there. Things that you can pronounce and things you can find at any local market close to the inner city. You don't have to take a bus or a train to find these items. So that was the whole purpose of me making that book about 5 years ago, was for that very reason. So that people that look like me could eat like they wanted to without breaking the bank.
Without breaking it, because if you get a prepared meal like this at a vegan restaurant, or maybe buy it
Mm-hmm.
frozen, Amy's busting heads wide open.
Yep.
$5 for one vegan meal. I mean, you
Yeah.
pay
That's a lot.
$12 max
Mm-hmm.
on a bad day to get these ingredients
Right.
for the spinach and tomatoes. You know what I'm saying? And you got a lot of it. I remember making a pot of it like with very few vegetables, and I'm like, wow, we got a lot of food here. And
Mm-hmm.
so it that you really were able, you hit the mark when you did that, because I found eating
Mm-hmm.
that standing over a stove is something that I really is find taxing on my back and body right now.
Yeah.
So being able to get in and get out is
Yeah.
good. None of these meals took a long time, and it
Mm-mm.
really the food, like you said, you don't use a lot of seasons when you're using fresh fruits and vegetables and
Right.
like that. You don't need all that extra. And I found myself, I
Mm-hmm.
got the pink Himalayan sea salt, but I didn't even use it. I didn't
You
need
don't have to.
it.
Right. Uh-oh. Get that for me, third. I think that's Masai.
Okay, so with
Okay.
that being said, we're gonna get this. I ain't gonna hold y'all anymore. We 21 minutes over. We usually
Oh
are.
wow.
But I don't want to hold you anymore, Sonny, because I know you got other engagements on this day, and I appreciate the wisdom that you poured into us and this knowledge. I've learned so much. I love gathering with you because you always pour so much
Oh, humbled. I'm so
into us.
humbled. Thank you.
We'll get that link to that
Yes.
to your site so we can get that book. I'm telling y'all, don't want to miss out on it, especially if you're transitioning to a vegan diet and you want to be full and have food that tastes good. Get the cookbook, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't got the book yet, and I'm already on
Right.
those. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about trying these smoothies. If y'all got any questions, let us know. Sunny has again a whole movement over there with her son and with her businesses. If you want to just talk about that briefly so they can know how to reach you if they want to reach out.
Yes, yeah, yeah. You can definitely link me. If you are looking, I know a lot of people, we talked about the gardening quite a bit. If you're looking to do anything with gardening, we actually have a gardening page on Facebook. It's called African American Family Gardening or something like that. If not, I think I can send you the link for that too, Zamika. And then we have my son's page, Massage Fresh Gardenings from Dirt to Dish. He does a lot of recipes and different things on there. And he also does a lot with his homeschool because we're actually an agricultural homeschool site. So we talk about that and do a lot of that on that page. I like to always forewarn people, you are more than welcome to send me a friend request on my personal page, but I am me.
I love it.
You
I
know,
love
I
it.
like to tell people because they get on there and be like, whoa, yeah. So, it's that, but I do share a lot of recipes. I try to put all those like in the groups. I do that literally at least once or twice a week. I share recipes. Like in Zamika's group, I put all 7 of the days of recipes for the smoothies and things that she posted on there. So those are there and she's allowed me to share. So I will share things there too if you guys want to get things like that. But yeah, you can definitely link us there on our gardening page and then on Massage page, and then we can move forward like there, and then I'll send you the link too, because I have like my personal my business page is Sunny's Holistic Delights, but it's more than just my business. I also do a lot of metaphysical things, so that's kind of collab. So if you're not into that part and just want the business part, then I can just send the link so you don't have to worry about having all of that extra if that's not your space. But yeah, I'll send all the links to you, Zamika, in your inbox with the link for the book.
Okay.
And then, they're more than welcome to follow me or send friend requests. I love to interact with people. So we can move like that.
I appreciate it. This is such an honor, and you are a true asset always. I mean, I've learned
Humble. Thank
so
you.
much. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to get like off this and go hit the kitchen. I'm so excited. But yes, I'll get those links posted on my personal page. I also get them posted in Bloom and Lotus. Sunny is a wealth of knowledge. The entire family, y'all. If y'all follow Sunny, you just be like, wow, wow, wow. And she's so humble. She's so humble. And I'm just like, girl, you need to be shouting from the rooftops what you do because you make so many phenomenal changes for our people, for our community. We get a lot of people who talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. She's been walking the walk. Y'all, she's been walking the walk. So I just really am just grateful to be able to sit at her feet and get this knowledge and soak up this soul food. If you smart, you do the same thing. So definitely get that book. Follow her if you can, if you're interested. I won't cut this off now because I'll ramble forever. Y'all know how I get when I start talking. Thank y'all for sharing this space. Thank you so
Mm-hmm.
much, Sonny, for taking the time out. I know you do so much. You wear
Thank you.
as we was gambling this day with her
Mm-hmm.
birthing a baby, y'all. Like she just had another birth. Like she's forever. She's a doula as well. Like a wet nurse. Like you can't. You have to have like a whole conversation to just for her to read out everything that she does. She does so many different things for so many different people. And she's just an asset to be able to connect with. So I thank y'all so much for joining us.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes.
Sonny, I'm gonna follow up with you with these links so I can get these people with
Okay. Yes.
and anybody who need the slides, I'm gonna post them in the Bloom and Lotus group as well. Sharonda, I can get you the slides email if you want them. Y'all, I love y'all to life. Peace.
Yes.
Namaste always. Thank y'all
Awesome.
so much.
Thank you.
We're here if you need us.
Mm-hmm.
Again, humble thanks, Sonny, for everything that you do.
Oh, no problem.
Honey, you have just been a light. You are a light. Sonny is the
Thank you.
appropriate name because you are light. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. No problem. Thank you, guys.
All right. Y'all have a great
Okay.
rest of y'all.
All
So,
right.
hey, peace and love.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.